State Champs Game Time Live is delivered by Hungry Howie's Pizza, celebrating 50 years of flavor. State Champs Game Time Live is also brought to you by Lawrence Technological University. Be curious, make magic. The future of education begins at ltu.edu. Alta Equipment, Michigan's #1 construction equipment provider, proudly representing the industry's top brands. Get the right equipment for your project every time with Alta Equipment. The Construction Association of Michigan, the voice of the construction industry in Michigan. U.S. Navy, transform your life and become part of something bigger. Learn more about naval careers at Navy.com. And the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
It's round one of the MHSA football playoffs, and our Game Time Live journey takes us to the great facilities of Caledonia and one heck of a round one matchup in Division II. It's the defending finalists in D1, Caledonia, hosting Portage Northern. Great ball game coming up for you on a really warm late October Friday night. We'll have some fun. Evan Stockton with you, Grant Perry's alongside, and Liz Kuhn on the sidelines in just a second as well. Grant, this is going to be an awesome matchup to cover. Caledonia the last couple of years has been one of the powers out on the west side of Michigan. Look, they did lose some pieces from that team that gave Belleville a battle in the Division I finals last year, but one of their best pieces is Brack. I'm excited to watch Brock Townsend run the football.
Yeah, and he's back better than ever. I mean, last year on their late run, he tallied 1,300 yards with 19 touchdowns. If they keep playing well and they get past this week, he's going to surpass that. He's sitting at right under 1,200 yards rushing, 16 touchdowns, and 6 of those have come through the air. I mean, he's a dynamic player. Central Michigan's getting a really good prospect, kind of an Alvin Kamara kind of guy that can catch out of the backfield but also run by you and run over you.
And then on the other side for Portage Northern, this is not an exaggeration. This is one of the best teams the school's ever had. It's the best offense they've ever had. Future Michigan State Spartan Jaden Walker, a giant reason why they're winning so many games.
Yeah, and Jaden Walker, he's making a lot of noise out here. Started his season off as a safety, started playing on varsity as a safety the past couple years, and then went into the weight room, came out 25 more pounds of lean muscle. So they moved him down to linebacker, and he's kind of just taken off. The scene's kind of taking notice as well. Michigan State, Kim Collin, he committed on spot. So he's a really good player for them, doing really good things. But defense is not the only place you're going to see him make plays. Really dynamic offensive receiver, standing 6'3", 210 pounds. I mean, 6 touchdowns, just over 600 yards. Really a dynamic football player.
The west side of Michigan is darn proud of their football, and let's get a peek at 2 of their best tonight. Caledonia, the Fightin' Scots, hosting the Huskies of Portage Northern. Great ball game in round 1 of the playoffs starts next.
There are 30,000 coaches and 8,000 officials, not to mention all of the...
You might not realize it, but tonight, you made a difference. Tonight, you ordered a little love, hope, and pizza. Because even though you just ordered a pizza for dinner, that one little purchase helps make a big difference. For every pizza purchased in the month of October, Hungry Howie's will make a donation to the National Breast Cancer Foundation, all on our way to raising $5 million. So this time, you didn't just order pizza. You ordered a little love, hope, and pizza.
Hungry Howie's.
From our very first breath, curiosity is why we question everything through barrages of whys and how comes. It now needs the tools to will its vision into existence. Tools that will forever allow curiosity to obscure the line between technology and magic. Be curious. Make magic. Lawrence Technological University.
At Alta Equipment, we know when it comes to getting your job completed on budget and on schedule, uptime matters. Alta Equipment has partnered with the biggest names in construction, including Volvo, Leeboy, Sennebogen, Avant, ASV, and more to provide the state of Michigan with industry-leading service and support. Alta Equipment services all makes and models, and their technicians are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Do you have a big project? Alta Rents has you covered with the most diverse rental fleet in Michigan. Give them a call at 844-GO-TO-ALTA today.
Looking for a score, a schedule, a story? MHSAA.com has you covered. Our newly redesigned website has everything you need to follow high school sports in Michigan. And it's optimized for mobile use. Fans can submit scores on a Friday night, check playoff pairings and game times, or read about the student athletes from your community. Your first stop is MHSAA.com. Connect with us online and get everything you need all in one place.
Caledonia Fighting Scots just ran through the fireworks and the pyrotechnics and the smoke, and they're getting set to host Portage Northern in an awesome matchup in Division II in round 1 of the MHSAA playoffs. Before we let you a little bit more about this ball game, let you know about the weather and anything else that may be going on tonight, we'll pause for the Caledonia Marching Band and our national anthem before round 1 between Portage Northern and Caledonia.
The privilege of this game was made possible by those who have fought and continue to fight for the freedoms we enjoy. Let us now honor and respect their efforts and our country. Civilian men, please remove your hats, and everyone able, stand at attention. Place your hand over your heart and proudly sing as the Fighting Scot Marching Band performs our national anthem.
Great environment at the home of the Caledonia Fighting Scots. They call this place the Ralph, and it's going to shine bright like a diamond on this unseasonably warm late October Friday night for football. About 60 degrees as we're about to kick this ball off. High 60s as we prepare to kick it off. There is the chance of rain. Both these teams and their coaching staffs were aware of the fact that it's going to rain, potentially, and they're not afraid to run the football a lot tonight. For more on this great matchup, down to the field we go, and the third member of our crew, Elizabeth Kuhn.
Hello everyone and welcome to the best time of the year. It's playoff time. We're here at Caledonia High School as they're going to be taking on Portage Northern, and pressure isn't new to either one of these teams. Portage Northern bringing back 19 guys who started on the playoff team last year. Caledonia obviously making a really impressive run last year, making it to the state finals, ultimately losing to a really good Belleville team, but pressure isn't new. We talked to both coaches earlier this week and they both mentioned the sense of urgency that these teams have, especially the seniors, as you got to get it done here in the playoffs. Evan?
So there's no doubt about that. Caledonia, battle-tested bunch from last year, and Portage Northern in the middle of one of the greatest seasons the program has ever had. Avery Kucharski, one of the best kickers in Michigan, the 5'11 senior who was practicing 57-yard field goals in warm-up, getting ready to send it away. Brock Townsend and Maddox Greenfield back deep. Ball in the air. Off we go. It sails right by Greenfield into the end zone, and a touchback to start for the Caledonia Fighting Scots. If you followed this team all the way to the Division I state championship game last year, you remember the name Mason McKenzie. Outstanding quarterback grant for them, who's now playing at Saginaw Valley State. Brody Betzer, their new starting quarterback, who's having a pretty darn good year. What do we need to know about number 9 in purple and white?
When talking to the coach this week, he kind of gave him a nickname, conductor. He does everything right, plays within their system, and has shown really good maturity and leadership after taking over for McKenzie. So just expect an even keel game from him, and expect him to run a little bit and also throw it.
And expect a lot of runs. It's a tag team combo of Townsend and Blake Herron. Blake gets the first carry of the game. Here's your starting offense for Caledonia. one of the things that stands out, Grant, when you get ready for this ball club, again, experienced bunch, 4 seniors on that offensive line.
Yeah, 4 seniors on the offensive line. They're returning a lot of guys. I mean, 28 guys, coming back from, the last year. 7 offensive linemen in their offensive line room are seniors. So a lot of maturity amongst this group. And these guys have been here before and know what to expect.
And they just opened up a gigantic hole. Brock Townsend getting blocks, racing down the sidelines, and giving Caledonia a dream start. I think Central Michigan fans are going to be happy to watch that guy tote the rock.
Yes, they are. And I mean, just coming out of the gate hot. I mean, how do you want to start a playoff game? You want to start it off with a bang. And what do they do here? They run a little outside zone, and they just cuts back. Brock Townsend does a fantastic job of following his blockers and making guys miss an open field. And really good downfield blocking by the receivers as well on this play. But Brock Townsend's speed does the rest of the work. And Caledonia here off to a great start early on.
Took him 2 plays and not even a minute to get on the board just like that. PAT up and good for Nathan Moss. Brock Townsend just scored his 17th touchdown of the season. What a start for the home team. Hungry Howie's a great partner with the State Champs Network's Mr. Football and Anvil Awards. Tonight you can order a little hot love, hope, and pizza. Help make a difference when ordering Hungry Howie's and their goal of donating $5 million to the National Breast Cancer Foundation. Go order your pizza at hungryhowies.com. Brock Townsend, a 3-year starter at running back for Caledonia, going to Central Michigan. His dad is also the athletic director here at Caledonia. Crowd still filing in on this warm October Friday night, and now Portage Northern, Grant. You talk about getting punched in the mouth early.
Yeah, I mean, getting punched in the mouth there. They got a real wake-up call here on the second play. Brock Townsend really, kind of opened up this game for Caledonia. But coming onto the offensive side here for Portage Northern does have some athletes that can also reciprocate kind of what Brock does. I mean, they got a couple guys in Jaden Walker at receiver who's electric. 6'3", 210 pounds. That's a hard guy to cover. Along with their quarterback, Brilliant Amos, who was just coming into his own this year, playing really good ball, playing under their system, and really excelling. And getting the ball to guys like Bonzel Tyus.
Oh my goodness, could this be another break? Ortiz, the guy fresh up from JV, couldn't handle it, and Caledonia has everything going right.
Talk about a dream start if you're Caledonia and an absolute nightmare if you're Portage Northern. I mean, you got to come up, you got to catch this ball, and you got to either fair catch it or get on it immediately. And right now, like you said here, this is Ortiz. He's a fresh, coming up from the JV squad. Hasn't seen a lot of reps. He's played some minutes here late in their season on the varsity, but kind of his first real playoff live action, and a little bit of those butterflies are flowing, and unfortunately, that's shooting themselves in the foot there, and they're gonna have to fight out of this hole early on.
That was Colin Kowach who fell on the ball. Caledonia right back in business, and Townsend tackled as he hit that hole middle of the field. And it's going to be second down.
Yeah, and you're going to see a lot of inside run here, and on defense you got Portage Northern. I mean, they got some guys that can really play. Jaden Walker, the Sam linebacker, he's committed to play linebacker at Michigan State. Yunus Mamani is a guy that they highlighted this week as a really a lockdown corner, and along with Zay Brunson, a guy that's just going to kind of plug the middle and try to slow down that running attack by Caledonia.
They'll run again with Herron. He's got a little bit of room again. Spinning his way down shy of the first down. Jackson Lascaridis made the tackle on first down. And here on second down, another wrap-up bringing up third down for Caledonia. Short on the way. That was Landon DeVries making the tackle for Portage Northern.
It's going to be a big day here on the Portage Northern defensive side. I mean, the D-line is going to have to play out of their mind, kind of really control their gaps. It allows the linebackers to flow freely. So they're going to have their hands full today, kind of trying to cover this run game.
On the ground again, Townsend plowing ahead. The initial spot gives him a first down. That is indeed the call. 3 runs, first down, move the sticks for Caledonia.
Good play there by their starting running back, Bonzel. Bonzel there, Tyus, came up, linebacker position, two-way player for them. Made the tackle there, right, 2 yards across the line of scrimmage. They're gonna have to live in those situations. They're gonna have to get hands on Brock early as soon as he gets across that line of scrimmage, because when he gets in open space, he has the opportunity to take any of these runs to the house. So, really emphasizing tackling if you're Portage Northern.
All right, back to their guy, Brock Townsend, slipping one tackle and leaning ahead inside the 10 to the 9. Another solid gain of 5 on first down.
And Austin Walburn there with the tackle. He's one of that wrestler body type guys, a little bit of smaller, undersized D lineman, but man, does he give teams fits. I mean, just with his speed and his just wrestling background, he's a very physical player up front, and a guy that today is going to have a big impact. Coming in today with 9 sacks, one of their most disruptive D linemen. Look for him to kind of make an emphasis, make a point today trying to stop this run game.
Betzer keeps. Finds room. Brody, Betzer. Oh, look at him lower the shoulder. That's another Caledonia touchdown. And the unreal start continues.
And Caledonia is off to a hot start. I mean, it's just going to be a quarterback read here. He's reading that defensive end, and once he sees that it's a give read or a keep read, he's going to take it. He's going to do the rest of the work here and just getting into the end zone, laying the wood on Yunus Bumani, just letting them know, hey, guys, we've been here before. We know what these playoffs are like. You're going to have to step up your game if you want to compete with us. Really good run there by Brody Bester.
We are barely 4 minutes into the football game, and Caledonia, team fresh off making the state championship game last year, already leads Portage Northern 14-zip. Alta Equipment knows when it comes to getting your job done on budget and on schedule, uptime matters. Alta Equipment partners with the biggest names in construction with industry-leading service and support. You can give them a call at 844-GO-TO-ALTA. Grant, you just made an excellent point after that Betzer touchdown run, which has now made it 14-0. We can talk all we want about this great year Portage Northern is having, greatest offense in school history, 8-1, beating good teams left and right. But it is so invaluable to have experience in settings like this. And I know Brody Betzer's a first-year starting quarterback, but he's been around this program. Derek Pennington, their head coach, he just resuscitates programs wherever he goes. It's so invaluable having that winning formula and experience, and it's on display early for Caledonia.
Yeah, on display. They're playing really well. I mean, they come out, they get a turnover on the kickoff. I mean, kind of a dream situation there, and then go down and make this a 2-score game. Kind of to your point, though, Brody Besser is kind of that playing that point guard role in this offense. He's got a really good supporting cast. So when he, his number's called, he does what he has to do. But he's got guys like Brock Townsend and Derek Pennington, the coach's son, who just pound the ball, and Blake Herron. So it takes a lot of pressure off of his back.
Oh my goodness, did it happen again? Poor Keniel Ortiz is getting attacked on pop-up kicks. He went back to communicate with the back returner. It went off his arm, it looked like, and luckily for him and Portage Northern, they fall on the football this time.
Yeah, poor guy there. I mean, you got to get into the game set here and understand that, hey, they're going to try to attack you now that they kind of single you out. They call you the fish, right? They're going to come for you. And on this kick right here, they go right at you again and try to make it happen, just how it did on that first kickoff. And if you're Ortiz there, you kind of got to back up, get your eyes back quickly, and then get your eyes back on your blocking assignment there. You don't want to do a full 180 turn.
So now we finally get to see this Portage Northern high-powered attack. It's Von Zaltias running right, keeping those legs moving, and finally getting Portage Northern a positive-looking play.
Yep, they got to get something going here positive. They're getting it to Von Zaltias, one of their main backs. You're kind of a two-headed monster in that backfield with Mir Warren. Also complimenting that. He's been out the last couple weeks with, kind of getting him ready for playoff mode. But, Von Zaltias is going to be your ground and pound guy. He's going to get those hard yards and break some tackles. And then Braylon Amos, I mean, he kind of is that, that guy on the offense. He's going to be the guy conducting everything and really making a difference.
And it looks like this next play is going backward, a flag before the snap.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 75, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
And if you're going to place money on any guy to get the first false start of the ballgame for Portage Northern, it would not be Gregory Patrick, although he is facing a Caledonia defense, Grant, with a lot of guys that can make you move a little early.
Yeah, he's got a very high ceiling, already got some offers from some really big Power 5 schools, but this is, the playoff football, the first round. You're going into, a powerhouse in Caledonia. There's going to be some butterflies there. He's just got to settle down and come into his own here.
Amos on second down, throws a pick six. Jumped the route, took it back to the house. Maddox Greenfield, hello. All right, Caledonia, we see ya.
Yeah, Caledonia, you're making your presence very well known here, and then coming on the defensive side here, coming in this week, Caledonia understood that there was going to be some free gifts, essentially some free access throws, and right there, Maddox Greenfield kind of plays the backyard football where, hey, I'm going to play off a little bit, but I'm ready to drive. Maddox Greenfield plays it perfectly. Jaden Walker runs a hitch. He just jumps the route. Maddox Greenfield, one of their most trusted coverage guys, shows why on that last play there.
If you had told us walking into the stadium a few hours ago, it's not even going to be 4.5 minutes in, 21-0 Caledonia, we wouldn't have believed you. My goodness, what a start. We're back to Caledonia right after this.
State Champs Nation, there has never been a more exciting time to consider Lawrence Technological University. Just minutes away from two of Southeast Michigan's most popular entertainment destinations in Royal Oak and downtown Detroit. With 5 colleges to choose from, every admitted student is automatically reviewed for scholarships, ranging from $4,500 to $16,000 per year. LTU also offers over 24 Division II level varsity NAIA sports, and unlike NCAA Division III schools, full athletic scholarships. Come to Lawrence Tech's Visit Day on Saturday, November 18th to see state-of-the-art labs, meet passionate professors, and learn why a technologically focused education turns curiosity into magic. Sign up for Visit Day Saturday, November 18th at ltu.edu.
Back at the Ralph, kickoff this time returned by Jaden Walker for Portage Northern across the 30, so they're going to have decent starting field position. Grant, I think anyone watching this game has got to be sitting there thinking, how in the world, if you're Portage Northern, do you rebound from a start that's an utter nightmare? I mean, the only thing that's beneficial to you right now is that it's happened within the first 4 minutes of the game. You got a lot of time left to still come into your own and kind of still run what you want to run here. Got to have an emphasis, a little bit of urgency, understanding that, we are down 21 here, but you got a lot of time, kind of run what you run best here, try to get your playmakers in space, and don't force any throws. Vonzel Tyus, maybe an inch. Jackson Engelberg, big 75, helping to suffocate this running lane. Just a little inside zone here, and Jackson Engelberg plays that 5 technique, which is that outside defensive end in this 3-4 here, and he's just going to do a fantastic job of crashing down and giving Vonzel Tyus no room to run. If you're just joining us, this is how it's 21-0 already. Second offensive play, 70-plus yard touchdown for Caledonia. Fumble on the kickoff, Portage Northern. Caledonia recovers, goes down, and scores. Tyus again trying to trudge his way to the 35. He didn't get there. And it's going to be third down for Portage Northern. Then on the Huskies' first offensive drive, they finally got the ball on a kickoff. They throw a pick 6. Yeah, and they run an RPO, type of, offense there where it gives the quarterback, Braylon Amos, a little bit of freedom, right? If he sees the right look, if he gets off coverage, he's allowed to throw it. In that situation, he underestimated the corner Maddox Greenfield's ability there, and Maddox Greenfield made him pay. This Portage Northern offense scoring 45 points per game. They scored 51 last week. I got a third down and 7. Amos dropping way back, setting up a screen. That is red. Tried to get Jaden Walker in space. Not a lot of room. And it's going to be 4th down, 5. And you're going to see, Portage Northern here try to get to the screen game, trying to get their playmakers the ball on the edge, with some safe, high percentage throws. In that situation, they threw again to Maddox Greenfield's side, and he was not having it there. He was ready for it, drove the ball, and made a tackle on their running back, their receiver, Jaden Walker. Avery Kacharski does a lot of the kicking and punting. They will drop Braylon Amos, the quarterback, back here. He rolls and punts. Caledonia didn't have any men back deep, but the kick for Portage Northern goes out of bounds, and Caledonia already up 21-0 has got the ball right back. We just saw Brody Betzer run another touchdown into the end zone for Caledonia. Back to week 1. Brody made his first career start for the Fighting Scots. Decent little place to do it. The Big House in Ann Arbor. Betzer and Maddox Greenfield did their best. Tom Brady and Randy Moss in 2007 impression. No love for Wes Welker. They combined for 4 touchdowns as Romeo fell to Caledonia 35-28 in the battle at the Big House. An instant classic. for a dude making his first ever start at Caledonia, Brody Betzer was awesome on that day. Here he's given to Heron, who once again finding running room. Caledonia is just making a living running the football so far today.
It doesn't matter who they're putting back there. I mean, Heron and Townsend, they're both finding lanes. They're getting north and south, and they're picking up as many yards as possible. Really want to see Portage Northern's defensive line and linebackers kind of rally to this ball. They kind of play a flat line of scrimmage defensively, meaning their outside linebackers are going to be on the edge, and they're going to have a middle linebacker about 7 yards deep, which gives you the opportunity to run up the middle.
Give to Townsend again. First down, Caledonia and more. He's spinning across the midfield logo up to the 47. There's just a ton of running room right now.
There is, and they're just going to run in between the tackles right now because that's where they're kind of, Portage Northern's got a little bit weak right now. And Brock Townsend, look at the patience, and then he makes a cut. Good tackle there by the safety there, Keegan McIntyre there to bring him down. You're really going to have two hands, near foot, really try to wrap these ball carriers up because these guys are hard physical runners.
All right, back to Townsend. Room again. Look at the agility. He's still on his feet. He's got another first down and showing every trick in the bag on another excellent run.
And it looks like, he's got nowhere to go, but he just makes yards. And that's kind of the player he is, right? He makes something out of nothing. He's been doing this for a couple of years, the starter for 3 to 4 years, and he's just doing it left and right, cutting back, making D linemen miss tackles. I mean, you're going to have to wrap this guy up if you want to bring him down. And especially in space, when he's got a cutback, you really got to cut off those lanes and really try to corner him in. And this defense tries to spill things, meaning they try to spill it to their help players. But right now, they're not spilling it the best, and they're getting attacked here in the run game.
Same play. Townsend right. Patiently waiting for the hole to open up. Didn't quite open as much as he wanted, but still a positive gain on first down.
Good gain there, just a little outside zone. And Brock Townsend, again, they're going to give him the opportunity to kind of, let the blocks develop there. As you saw, he kind of had, some happy feet, kind of trying to see what lane was going to open up. If you're Portage Northern, you got to do a good job of playing both gaps here. Whether you're a defensive lineman or linebacker, right? With your opportunity presented, you got to fill your gap, but also have, understanding that he could bounce. So you got to have contained, but also, plug the insides because right now they're going for an inside run game attack.
Under 3 minutes to go in a first quarter that Caledonia could only have dreamt about. They're setting up a screen. That was nearly picked. Oh, boy. High for Townsend, the first time that Betzer's tried to throw it all day, and that was not in rhythm.
Yep, not in rhythm right there. First throw, a little bit of the jitters, right? He's been handing it off to Brock and Blake, and these guys have been running for 5-6 yards a carry. So they call on, Brody there, and Brody, airmails it a little bit. But, he did see some pressure. They ran a little twist on the edge there to try to get Jaden Walker, their Sam linebacker, inside that defensive tackle and, provided a little pressure. But, when you're running a screen, you want some pressure. So, in that situation, they got the right look offensively, but Brody Betzer just couldn't complete the pass.
First third down they're facing tonight. They'll give it to Townsend, and he's lowering that shoulder awfully close to another first down. They're already waving it ahead. Third down, no problems for Caledonia.
And they're picking up 2 to 3 yards, 4 yards a carry here. I mean, really comfortable in what they're doing. Right now they're not having to rely on any throwing. They got a couple running backs in Blake Townsend, Brock Townsend, and Blake Heron that are just really getting the yards they need up the middle. They're avoiding going on the outside because the outside is kind of what Portage Northern is defending the most right now. I would like to see Portage Northern have some inside attack here at the linebacker position.
Give to Townsend, who found the hole. Touchdown Caledonia again. That's the second in the first quarter for Brock Townsend.
And just a fantastic job. I want you to look out for number 32 here. I don't know if you're going to see him, but he has it right there on your screen. Has a fantastic block, which gives Brock Townsend a lane to run through, and he goes untouched into the end zone. That's Derek Pennington, number 32, one of their fullback, H-back, committed to play at Western Michigan. A guy that's just really physical, really good blocker for them, and he's the one that set that run up for Brock Townsend.
Derek Pennington, the coach's kid, a 4-year varsity player. He started at Zeeland East when Derek was coaching there. Now he's come to Caledonia and opening up holes for Brock Townsend. That is not a misprint. Caledonia is up 28-0, and we're not even 10 minutes in. My goodness. Every high school sporting event in our great state of Michigan has one thing in common, the officials, and officials are now needed more than ever. Go to MHSA.com for a little more info because without officials, It's only practice. Of course, every official in Michigan about to be under the microscope for the next month as all these teams are trying to get to Ford Field and Thanksgiving weekend. Friendly reminder for you, the layout, the schedule for the MHSA football finals is different this year than in the past. They are not Friday, Saturday. They are Saturday, Sunday, because Michigan State is playing Penn State at Ford Field that Friday of Thanksgiving weekend. So all the even games will be played on Saturday. All the odd games will be on Sunday. They go in different order than usual. The Division II final, which Caledonia is hoping to play in, will actually be at 7:30 just about on that Saturday night. And the weekend will end with a Division I championship, a little Sunday night football from Ford Field at 7:30 on that Thanksgiving Sunday. Will Carrie Underwood show up to sing for that game? I sure hope so. This bounces off one of the Portage Northern upmen. And this return didn't have a lot going on initially, but a credit to Portage Northern returner fighting hard. That's Keegan McIntyre, who did not die on initial contact and got it up to the 33.
Keegan McIntyre, that's another name I'd like to see them get involved here, right? They haven't really been able to open up the offenses. They went 3 and out, and they had 2 turnovers on their past drives. But look for Keegan McIntyre, number 18. He's a real speedy receiver, doing a fantastic job this season of taking slants and out routes and just short yardage plays to the house. He's got real home run ability, along with his partner, number 4, Jaden Walker.
Portage Northern staring down a start that was an absolute worst nightmare. Some miscues and some Caledonia excellent offense have put the Fighting Scots firmly in front here. First run for Jameer Warren, the speed back, in their combination with Vonzel Tyus, and he barely gained anything.
And Caledonia's doing a fantastic job of kind of making everything funnel outside, right? When everything looks like, that's an outside zone run where he's kind of trying to, got the outside track of the tackle, and he's looking for a cutback, but Caledonia's not giving him anything to work with right now. Defensive line for Caledonia is playing fantastic. Those 2 middle linebackers, and Blake Herron and Alex Klingon-Smith, are doing a fantastic job of kind of containing this Portage Northern offense.
Another flag before the play.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 75, 5-yard penalty, replay second down.
I mean, Gregory Patrick, number 75 in orange and white, and maybe the best sophomore lineman in Michigan. He's already been offered by Oklahoma, Nebraska, Michigan. Gigantic kid. He's 6'5", 265. He's 16 years old, but that's his second false start already today.
And things are against, going against, Portage Northern right now. Everything, really, offensively and defensively, they can't get anything going, and that's kind of just matriculating down into the, the way they're starting the offense. And Gregory Patrick.
Amos faked it and ran into a wall. Nothing is going right in this first quarter for Portage Northern. That was River Swanlin making the tackle for Caledonia.
River Swanlin coming down, wasn't sure if he was going to play today, but made the appearance here. He hasn't played in a while, had a broken fibula early in the season, so they're happy to have him back. He'll sub in and out with Brent DeYoung at that outside linebacker position, and that's exactly where he made that play, on the outside. It was a quarterback read there. He ended up trying to keep it, made a tackle for loss there. A really good play by the newcomer this season, River Swanlin.
3rd down and a mile. Amos does have a clean pocket, but he throws behind the intended target. Incomplete. Timing wasn't right with Jordan Bates-McCullough, and now Portage Northern forced a punt.
And had what you wanted there. I mean, had a clean pocket. Caledonia was running a little bit of a game up front, meaning they were twisting the D linemen. A couple linebackers were coming inside. D linemen were taking outside contain. And it was held up well. I mean, had a beautiful pocket, and then he stepped up to throw it and just kind of threw it behind his receiver. And unfortunately, didn't give him any room to run there, and he could have caught it, could have got some more yards, but kind of threw it behind him.
Kacharski on the field to punt. This is one of the best kickers and punters in Michigan. First time he punts it tonight. Townsend Fields at the 35. Made a man miss. Got through a couple more. Brock Townsend with a convoy. Continuing the absolute dream. First quarter for Caledonia. That's his 3rd touchdown already.
I mean, you want to talk about getting all facets of the game going. The only thing we were missing were special teams for Caledonia, and they said, you know what, we got it for you here. And they just kick it to Brock Townsend, which might have been Portage Northern's first mistake there because that kid is elusive. Central Michigan's getting a heck of a player in Brock Townsend, number 6 here, but he gets north and south, makes a couple guys miss, hits the sideline, and has nothing but green grass to run. And like you said, Evan, you couldn't have drawn up a better start for Caledonia. Just really hitting on all areas and all cylinders.
I mean, that student section, yes, they're in costumes because Halloween is coming up next week. I don't think any of them could have reasonably expected it would be 35-0 in the first quarter.
Not at all. I mean, I'm sure they're stunned. We're stunned up here. But I mean, you take a look at Brock Townsend and this Caledonia, their record and their track record here. I mean, they're no strangers to the big moment. They're no strangers to the environment, and they're excelling at high levels right now, and they're looking like a really good team. A team that a lot of people are going to circle in this bracket and say, you know what, Caledonia's playing good ball. We got to keep our eye on them.
Yeah, and remember, this was a team that was in Division I last year, made it to the state championship game, gave Belleville a pretty darn good game for a while there. I know they lost the quarterback, McKenzie. They lost Justice Reed, one of their great wide receivers. But, again, 4 senior starters on the O-line. Brock Townsend has shown time and again in this first quarter what he can do. This is one of those scores in the first round of the playoffs where a lot of people are going to go, oh, my goodness, that's what Caledonia did today?
Yeah, and they're on track to score about 100 points right now. And if you were to check the score right now, you'd be like, whoa, 35-0 in the first quarter. I mean, that's unheard of, especially coming into the playoffs. Both teams are trying to put their best foot forward. But I mean, really a dream start for Caledonia. And if you're Portage Northern, and down 21, you kind of the alerts were up. But right now, you really got to put the gas to the pedal here and try to make something happen.
Bobbled the kickoff. Warren's got it, and he's tackled at the 25. Well, he was initially tackled, and then he spun out of it somehow. Got up to the 26-yard line, and then he was stopped there. I think Portage Northern, Grant, more than any football team in the history of this sport, needs this quarter to end. They need a mental reset.
Yeah, they all need to go to the bench and just need to look at each other and say, you know what, we got to regroup, we got to find what we do best, and we got to come out here and execute. I know the score says 35-0, but you got to act like this is a 0-0 ball game. I mean, it's too early to hang your heads and think about next season. I mean, right now you have an opportunity to go down and still fight and show what kind of heart you have. I mean, you got to pull your best foot forward here and give it all you got.
Could be our final play of the quarter. This is Tyus with some room. Vonzel Tyus has got the first down for Portage Northern. And in a first quarter where absolutely nothing went right, finally something does go right as this clock will tick down to the second quarter. Brock Townsend, 3 touchdowns, including a punt return for 6. Also a pick 6 for Maddox Greenfield and a Brody Betzer touchdown run. Caledonia just had one of the greatest first quarters in school history. They're up 35-0 as we go to the second after this.
You might not realize it, but tonight, you made a difference. Tonight, you ordered a little love, hope, and pizza. Because even though you just ordered a pizza for dinner, that one little purchase helps make a big difference. For every pizza purchased in the month of October, Hungry Howie's will make a donation to the National Breast Cancer Foundation, all on our way to raising $5 million. So this time, you didn't just order pizza. You ordered a little love, hope, and pizza.
Hungry
Howie's! I said I'd never join.
Then I wouldn't get to work on one of these.
Never knew how strong I was.
I figured I'd never get out of my hometown. Or be the one who stops an attack.
Joining the Navy sounds crazy.
Saying never actually is.
At Alto Equipment, we know when it comes to getting your job completed on budget and on schedule, uptime matters. Alto Equipment has partnered with the biggest names in construction, including Volvo, Lieboy, Bogan, Avant, ASV, and more to provide the state of Michigan with industry-leading service and support. Alto Equipment services all makes and models, and their technicians are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Do you have a big project? Alta Rents has you covered with the most diverse rental fleet in Michigan. Give them a call at 844-GO-TO-ALTA today.
Welcome back, everyone. When I talked to Coach Pennington earlier this week about the atmosphere at Caledonia, he said it's second to none. He said the guys do a walk through the tailgate before the game. He said it's really like a college game day atmosphere, and he said the students are loud.
You know, I love the costumes. They're fantastic. But if I could quibble with one thing, 2 green M&Ms. Why not a green and a yellow? You know,
that's a good point there you make up, Evan. You know, just lack of creativity on those two.
You doing any Halloween costumes this weekend, my man?
None personally. We're gonna dress the dog up, the pup up. We're gonna get him dressed in something.
I will be going as Richie from The Bear. I have a shirt that says the original birth of Chicagoland because it's a collector's item. Vonzel Tyus on the last play of the first quarter ran for a first down. And to start the second quarter, after a flag backed up Portage Northern, that's a really nice gain to start the second quarter.
It is, and it's very positive to see. If you're Portage Northern, you want to go forward. You can going backward the whole first quarter, but now it's time to march forward. Really good job there. Good setup block there by Manny Mesman, number 10. That H-back, got a good block on that defensive end, and then Vonzel Tyus made Reed Voyager miss an open field there, and made it a very positive run.
Gained 11 yards and turned it into a second down and 4. Tyus again, running left. Got a block. Got a first down. Trying that left side with big Gregory Patrick, and this time some good blocking. Moves the sticks again for Portage Northern.
Yeah, and like we said, got off to a rocky start. Gregory Patrick, the sophomore, big time Power 5 recruit. But sometimes when guys are struggling, as a coach, you kind of just say, you know what, I understand that you're struggling, but we're going to keep calling your number. We're going to keep giving you opportunities, kind of show up and kind of step out here. And then right there, did a fantastic job of sealing that end on the left side of the run formation and helping them pick up a first down.
Another flag. This would be the 4th pre-snap penalty on Portage Northern.
Offside. Offense, number 58. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
That's on Emmanuel Browning. 3rd different false start on Portage Northern. You see anything schematically that's going on here?
Well, the defensive line, they're doing a shift call. So right before they think that snap's coming, they go shift, and everyone shifts over a gap, and it kind of gets those offensive linemen out of place, right? They had their run points already, and then they got to reset, and then they're thinking, well, they're already moving, so it kind of makes them jump off sides there. Really good defensive strategy that you see throughout high school, throughout college, and the NFL.
Amos throws, wide open man. Portage Northern finally gets a break. Keegan McIntyre to the house. That's his 7th touchdown catch of the season. You cannot get more open.
And they just come right back to him and say, Brandon Amos, you threw that pick 6 in the first quarter, but we're going to trust you here in the second quarter. Do a fantastic job. A little bit of an RPO read, right? He's just reading to see if that throw's there. It's looking for the backside inside defender. And Keegan McIntyre, he wins one-on-ones. He's got great speed and great hands. Does a fantastic job of getting inside leverage, running a little 5-step glance route, which is a post, catching it and taking it to the house.
Amos is on the field. Portage Northern pressing their luck. Interesting formation. He'll look for room right side. Turn the corner, dive for the pylon, and he got the 2. Braylon Amos looking good on back-to-back plays for Portage Northern.
Really good job here. They're just running a little bit of an error rate on the kick, right? They go, hey, you know what? If it's a good look, we'll run it. They do. They snap it to Braylon. He does a fantastic job of extending for the pylon. There's a couple situations in which you're allowed to extend for. 4th down, 2-point conversions. So he does a fantastic job of understanding the situation and getting the ball across the plane.
Are you considering the U.S. Navy as enlisted or as an officer? Learn about the American Navy and your career opportunities within the U.S. Armed Forces. Contact the local U.S. Navy recruiting office, 734-679-1998. Man, if I'm Portage Northern, Grant, I'm sitting there going, look, I know what the score is. That first quarter was terrible. But this is an offense that scored 45 points per game, so you're still confident in that department. There's this old saying that you eat an elephant one bite at a time. If I'm Portage Northern, all I'm doing, taking it one play, one possession at a time, getting to halftime and see where my chips are stacked here.
One bite at a time, like you said. You can't get 35 points in one play, but, the main thing is keeping your guys focused, keeping your guys locked in. And right there, Portage Northern showed that they're not going to quit. They're not going to back down, and they score with an efficient amount of time and kind of get back on the board and kind of instill some, some confidence back into these guys. And don't count them out. It's early in this game, and they do score a lot of points, just like you said.
Nice tackle on special teams, tripping up Greenfield as he tried to hit the hole at the 25, and he's down right there. Offense for Caledonia scored 4 times in the first quarter. 3 times, beg your pardon. They got a punt return touchdown from Townsend and a pick 6 from Greenfield. Brody Betzer, the quarterback, ran for a touchdown. Brock Townsend also had a couple of running touchdowns. Caledonia tried to throw the ball once in that entire first quarter.
And that could be really, debilitating for a team, right? If you can't stop the run and that's all they're doing, that defense stays on the field a lot of the drive and really wears them down. So look for them to kind of keep that attack coming.
Slip in a carry for Blake Herron, and he gained a couple of yards up to around the 28-yard line. Herron and Townsend, a couple of guys who have been here for the Caledonia football renaissance since Derek Pennington took over in 2021. 29-6 the Fighting Scots are over the last 3 seasons. Derek Pennington came over from Zeeland East, had excellent success over there. And now here in Caledonia, he's building a juggernaut. Townsend again, cut it back up, didn't get across the 30, but Portage Northern wraps him up in the hole. And Caledonia is only facing 3rd down for the 2nd time tonight.
Yeah, if you're Portage Northern right now, you got to get a stop. You got to get the ball back, and you got to kind of take the momentum back into your side. But on that play right there, try to go outside zone with a lead blocker, and Jaden Walker, number 4, just played big boy football and just blew up the line, the fullback there. Made Brock Townsend shuffle his feet, try to cut inside. Jaden Walker bounced off the block and then made the tackle there. So really good play from the MSU commit.
3rd down 5 here. Betzer quick throw, caught 1st down. Greenfield got across the sticks, took a pop. McIntyre lowered his shoulder, but Maddox held on, and Caledonia converts again.
Really good job understanding the situation. They bring about 6 guys right there, meaning they're going to be playing some type of man coverage, and they get off coverage on the slot there. He just takes an easy throw, like a 10-yard throw there, easy completion. Lets his receiver there, Maddox Greenfield, catch the ball, get upfield. And they're doing really some really good things here for on Caledonia schematic wise. I mean they're giving Brody some time to throw here on his throws, but they're not giving him too much, so he's not having to make a lot of reads.
Townsend right, found some cutback lanes, still stayed on his feet somehow, up to the 45-yard line and a gain of 8 on 1st down.
And just like the play looked like it was about to get tackled for a minimal gain there, but Brock Townsend bounces off a couple guys, and Jaden Walker kind of over pursuits it, loses his gap integrity there, and then Brock Townsend, man, he's been a cutback master today, finds a way to get positive yardage like he always does, and makes that play which looked like it was going to be a tackle for a minimal gain, makes it a 2nd down and 2.
They'll start Betzer alone in the gun. Snap it back to him. A lot of time to throw. Down the middle, Maddox Greenfield wide open. He's in a foot race, and he's barely lost any of those in his life. Touchdown, Maddox Greenfield. He says he runs a 4.5 40. After that catch and run, I believe him.
Yeah, no, but he confirmed it there. I mean, just took off. But understanding the situation, you're getting man coverage, no free safety help, so it's cover 0, and all you got to do is get your guy to win inside. Maddox Greenfield does a fantastic job of beating Billy Hughes on the inside there for a skinny post, and then he just catches it and does the rest of the work. Circles the defense, gets to the sideline, and no one can catch him with that 4.5 speed.
Nathan Moss has been a busy man. He also plays on the soccer team. He just knocked in another extra point. Caledonia has scored 42 times, and we're not even halfway into the 2nd quarter. 42 points for Caledonia, remarkable. The next home game for the Lawrence Tech Blue Devil football team is next Saturday, November 4th against Taylor. The game will be live on TV 20 Detroit, high noon kickoff next week. Grant, Elizabeth Kuhn, and myself, Evan Stockton, on the call. For more information, go to ltuathletics.com. Well, Grant, if you're Portage Northern, you're feeling good about the fact that you got that touchdown reception, you get the 2-point conversion, but then Caledonia marches right down the field. We kept talking about how they barely threw the ball in the first quarter. Well, they just threw a long touchdown. I think they're answering those questions.
Yep. They woke up, Brody Bester there and said, you know what, hey, Portage Northern can throw it. We can too. They do their best impression and make it look just as good there. Really good job by Caledonia though, just responding, really kind of just giving them no hope at this point. But if you're Portage Northern, you got to try to play complementary football right now, because you can score points, but if you can't stop them, you can't get back in this game. And defensively, they're kind of loading the box, trying to make things happen. And Caledonia is responding and coming out with plays that are beating this type of coverage that Portage Northern's playing.
Just so unexpected to see the way that this game has played out so far, because Portage Northern, on paper, a team that would not be susceptible to a score like this. They returned 19 starters from last year's team. 9 starters returned on offense. They were 8-1 coming in. Tonight is just very atypical of what their season has looked like. Amos, the senior quarterback, looking to the sidelines. Just threw for a touchdown on the last drive. Keegan McIntyre hauled it in. And that time looked like Vonzel Tyus slipped as he tried to make his cut.
Just couldn't get his foot in there, kind of fell over the offensive lineman who was getting blown back into the backfield there. And if you're Portage Northern, you're going to run the ball here, but it looks like Caledonia is playing with a little bit of a too high safety look, anticipating more passes coming from them. With being down a buttload, you're going to expect more passes. So Caledonia is playing a little bit of a too high safety look, kind of trying to keep everything in front of them after that touchdown they gave up.
I'll just correct you there, buddy. They're down a boatload.
Oh, sorry.
They're down a boatload.
Yep.
There you go. Never knew who's watching or listening. I just want to make sure all the kids are happy. Tyus slipped and tripped in the open field. He stumbled out of bounds. That was a nice job by Caledonia's secondary. Parker Little slowed him down, and it'll be third down again for Portage Northern coming up.
Third down. You got to anticipate, they're going to try to get, Keegan McIntyre or Jaden Walker involved right now. But, also at the same time, you understand that Caledonia is expecting that too. So, I wouldn't be surprised if they try to get a screen game here, something that an easy throw to get on the edge, try to pick up a few yards and see if they can't get this third down conversion.
Amos flips. Walker on a reverse. He's got a ton of room. Jaden Walker, first down and more. Down the sidelines he goes, and the former Spartan with one of the best plays of the night for Portage Northern.
Really good job there. And Brock Townsend met him out of bounds and said, you know what, buddy, I can meet you at the field too. Really good job. They just run a little bit of a reverse, get everything flowing to the right side. And, Caledonia doesn't have any protection on the backside. Jaden Walker, who's a really skilled athlete, really good speed, and really good size, just gets around the edge there and does a fantastic job picking up that first down, getting into Caledonia territory.
Portage Northern on the move again. Tyus, nothing. He met Derek Pennington for a loss.
Yep, and there's run a little bit of a power read here. Brandon Amos has the opportunity to pull this, but he gives a give read, so he gives it. But in that sense, Caledonia is playing flat down the line of scrimmage, really providing nowhere to go. And then they just rally to the ball there. Ian Fadawa is doing a fantastic job there at the nose tackle position, and then Blake Herron comes in and cleans up the pile there. The captain, Blake Herron, is playing really well tonight, coming up with some big tackles here in the backfield.
Derek Pennington, a big dude. Future Western Michigan Bronco. Tyus running up the middle, finding a lot of room. Vonzel Tyus, first down and more. Townsend couldn't slow him down. He's escorted out of bounds inside the 15.
And Portage Northern, they're not giving up here. They're just doing what they do best, right? They're just getting inside. They finally get a little bit of running room up the middle. Some good blocks by the D lineman there, the O lineman. A really good block there by Gregory Patrick, kind of pushing that linebacker inside, giving a lane for Zavon Tyus there. Let's see if they can punch it in here.
Tyus on the move again, spinning inside the 10-yard line down to the 9. That last name very familiar at running back for Portage Northern. Von Zell's older brothers, Anthony and Xavier, both play college ball. Anthony's a Northwestern Wildcat, and Xavier plays at Wayne State.
Timeout, Caledonia. First yard, timeout.
Caledonia burns a timeout here with just about 5.5 to go in what has been a remarkable first half. It's a 42-8 lead right now for Caledonia. Baseball season wrapping up starting tonight. Game 1 of the World Series. So let's give you a little throwback, baseball fans. Tommy Henry, national runner-up while pitching for the University of Michigan in 2019. Right now living out his big league dreams with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Here they're playing a big game tonight. Tommy Henry took the bump for Portage Northern's Huskies, winning Mr. Baseball and Gatorade Player of the Year back in 2016. For those in the know, that Henry last name, very familiar in the world of broadcasting in Metro Detroit. I don't know if a certain Henry is working the Pistons game right now. If not, he's totally watching this game.
Yeah, he always has eyes, man. He's a big Michigan high school football connoisseur.
Unfortunately, the man we speak of, very frustrated because his alma mater. I also know someone else whose alma mater, Grant, went 0-9 this year.
Yeah, not the best, but hey, really high expectations next season, right? One win and you've already, essentially won next your wins from last season. So we look forward, not backwards.
Brighter days ahead for the Brother Rice Warriors. Ortiz on the run. Got to cross the line, gained a couple of yards. Got to be third down for Portage Northern.
They let Kenny Ortiz, the sophomore running back, pulled up from JV, get a touch here. Really had some good, crucial minutes here, late in the season. A guy that they're really excited about, coming up through the pipeline here, kind of behind two backs that kind of established themselves in Von Zell and Jameer. So, but look for him to get some touches here. He provides a little bit of a speed dynamic, a little bit of a, untouted, unscouted, right? He hasn't been on a lot of film, so a lot of teams don't know exactly what he's bringing.
Under 5 to go, first half. Portage Northern trying to get in the end zone again. Amos gives to Ortiz. Trying to get that first down. Got inside the 5, then he got pushed back. Had to get just inside the 4. Got to be close, but the initial signal, fourth down for Portage Northern.
And you got to go for it here. I mean, it doesn't take a master to understand that. I mean, you're down big. A boatload, so you got to make some things happen here. Got about a yard to go, 12 inches here, so look for them just to try to get up the middle here. A little bit of a QB read. If it's not there, Braylon Amos might take it and try to get in himself.
There he goes. Dove ahead. Got the first down. One of those situations where you can't get the first down without scoring the touchdown, and Braylon knew what he needed there with that dive.
Yep, you could tell there, the seasoned, veteran there that's been playing some good ball this season, understood the situation, understood the assignment. Was about to get tackled, was falling down, but fell forward for that first down.
Amos fields the snap and gives to Tyus, trying to get in. Third effort, he's not in. It'll be second and goal from the 1.
Second and goal, kind of met, right at the goal line there. The linebackers and met Von Zell, Tyus there right at the goal line. But, Braylon Amos, came in with a little bit of a push there. You can see that they want to get in badly. Braylon Amos is one of their senior leaders, a guy that, has just really, progressed through this season. And, a guy that they count on. And he's going to have to come up big here, late in this game. Not late, but, come up here big if they want to get back in this.
Amos running all the way. The senior quarterback plowing ahead. He somehow didn't get in. Third down and goal. Braylon's saying, come on, man, I got in. And now the officials will talk about it. Officials backing up that Caledonia defense. They don't want anyone messing with the deliberating jury. All right, what'd you see? I think he got in.
Yeah,
I'm not so sure. Yeah, I'm just trying to fill in the blanks here. Yeah,
I got you.
Live, it looked like he got in. Nope, it's third down. I don't know. Maybe we can run a replay here after this upcoming third down. He was darn close. It's going to be a moot point if Portage Northern can get a couple of inches. That is a new way to run the Jalen Hurts tush push. Little brotherly shove and a touchdown for Portage Northern.
Little shotgun brotherly shove there. Brilliant almost hands the ball off and just follows him. Gives him a little extra push there. It took him about 3 tries to get in, but they get in finally there, put some more points on the board, and kind of just instilling some confidence here. You'll just see him hand this ball off and just follow him, saying, hey, I'm going to push you in. Really good job by the center and the left guard there of double teaming, pushing their block down, and they're coming out here with the air raid look again. We'll see if they decide to kick the field goal or go for 2 again.
This is a new one. The ball snapped from the far hash. Amos throwing, and that is caught for 2. What a catch! Billy Hughes dives and gets the 2.
What a catch, like you said. I mean, just he caught it diving to his right, caught it underhanded, hands, pinkies together. Really good catch here, and kind of just a playground type of, offense on this play here. Kind of just sending guys everywhere, but Billy Hughes comes up big with the 2-point conversion.
So now Portage Northern has 16 points on the last 2 offensive drives. They're still putting up numbers. The Construction Association of Michigan provides a vast resource array of services, information, and training to our diverse membership within Michigan's construction industry. Go to buildwithcam.com for more information. All right, so now, Grant, we get into this situation game within a game, right? Portage Northern, all 3 timeouts, and they're getting the ball to start the second half. So if they can find a way to get a stop and a score, look, you can turn it from 42-16. Heck, if they go for 2 and get it again 2 more times, it's 42-32 in a blink of an eye. It's like we were talking about, one thing at a time for these guys.
Yep, one step at a time, one thing at a time, understanding your assignment and trying to execute it to the best of your ability. First step here is going to be getting Brock Townsend off the field. Right now, Brock Townsend has just been running all over this defense. And so if you can get him off the field, get a quick score, and then get the ball back next half, then you're really cooking.
Greenfield ran into one of his blockers, hit the circle button 3 different times on that return, spinning his way up to the 30-yard line. If you play Madden on PlayStation, you hit the circle button, you spin. For those who did not grow up playing Madden or NCAA.
He hit that thing about 5 times. He was just jamming it. Just like, come on, spin, spin, spin. But no, good job there. Broke a few tackles, got some positive yardage, and puts him on the 30.
And he also hit the poor truck stick on one of his blockers. I'm very happy they're bringing NCAA football next year. I can't wait.
Can't wait.
I will be wasting lots of time playing that game, probably around this time next year. If you need me on weekends next year, if I'm not calling football, you know where to find me. It's Townsend again. Bottled up for one of the rare times tonight. Only a gain of 2 on first down. Oh, man. One of the linemen for Caledonia gets up, fired up. There's a late flag. That was Ali Salih who came up angry. I wonder if one of the Portage Northern defenders ripped his helmet off.
It'll be unfortunate, too, because they really kind of contained the run on that job. Did a good job of, holding Brock to a minimal gain.
Now they're coming to the sidelines and consulting with Derek Pennington, Caledonia's head coach. It's probably a clue as to what the call is.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense, number 4, 15-yard penalty at the end of the run. First down, Caledonia.
The fact that Portage Northern has a penalty like that, not surprising because of where the score is and the frustration. What is surprising? That's your guy going to Michigan State, senior Jaden Walker making that mistake?
And you can only imagine what he's feeling right now. You're down big right now in what, could be your last high school game. So, those emotions do get high, right? And trying to control those is tough. But, you got to kind of take a step back, understand that you still are in this game. Got to get a stop, got to get the ball back, got to get some more scores. But you can't have any of those penalties, especially being one of the senior vocal leaders there on that defense and offense. That kind of just sets a bad example there for the young guys that are following you and watching you.
Fake to a motioning Greenfield, threw it behind Townsend, who somehow caught the ball. Brock Townsend in this first half has so many highlights I can't keep up with them all.
Goodness, and like we said, we were waiting for him to get active in the pass game. Really good receiving back, and kind of caught that one off his hip, like Bijan Robinson. I don't know if you guys saw that in Atlanta Falcons. Caught it off his hip, reaching back, really tough catch. But Portage Northern's playing this cover zero look, so they're not accounting for the running back leaving the backfield there. Kind of runs up the seam, and Brody throws him a ball that is catchable. Caught it, made a fantastic catch, but gets a lot of yards there and really helps their field position here late in the second quarter.
Oh, by the way, Brock Townsend came into tonight with also 6 catching touchdowns this season. The roll Betzer to the right, come back to the left, and he threw it incomplete. They were trying to get Pennington on a tight end screen, but that play was read really well by Portage Northern.
Yeah, really good job there. I mean, everything looks like it's going right. They're going to run a little sprint to the right, a little tight end delay screen on the backside, but Jackson Lascaritas does a fantastic job of sticking with his man, understanding that if he is not blocking me trying to get out on a route, I got to stick with him. A lot of players at the high school level will kind of forget about the responsibility, try to chase the quarterback, but that's a heads-up play by the captain, Jackson Lascaritas.
So clock stops, 1:59 to go, first half. Second down 10 for Caledonia. They give to Townsend, who's free again. Brock Townsend is ridiculous. That is his 4th touchdown in the first half.
And just making it look effortlessly here. I mean, watch the safeties on this play. You can't see them right now, but they come into the picture. And Brock Townsend just gives it a little hesitation, makes one cut, and those safeties are flying down, trying to protect the C gap. But you got to protect the A gap, my friends, here, because Brock Townsend's running right at you, and he runs right by you, too. Really good run, and he's making this thing look effortless.
Dude came into the night with 22 total touchdowns. Tonight he has 4 more, 3 runs, a punt return touchdown. This is absolutely silly what Brock and the entire Caledonia team is doing so far tonight. Coming up at halftime in a couple of minutes, Lauren Plint has a conversation with Mark Ewell, the executive director of the MHSAA. They talk about the high school football state finals being played on Saturday and Sunday this year on Thanksgiving weekend. Stay tuned. Also, Liz Kuhn is going to have a chat with Caledonia's coaching staff. And I'd have to imagine one of her questions will be something along the lines of, how in the world don't you just give the ball to Brock on every play? Because when you do give the ball, good things happen,
Good things happen, yeah. And, statistically speaking, I mean, he's touched it about, probably, up to 85% of, the times that they've run offensive plays. And, I mean, like you said, just running for touchdown after touchdown. And got to credit the offensive line. I mean, the center, Kate Tidy, is doing a fantastic job. On with number 54, Ian Fudawa. In the right guard, Jackson Olin just really kind of paving the way inside, right? Because that edge is not there with the way that the Portage Northern defense is set up. They got the backers playing heavy on the edge, so that run game's up the middle, and you can see that their game plan is working to perfection so far.
49 points for Caledonia in the first half. Their season high in points was last week against Grand Haven when they dropped 56. They are a touchdown away from tying their season high for points in a game in the first half.
I mean, you couldn't ask for a better start to your playoff season. Your second season within your one season. Really good job, and coming out firing all cylinders.
Whoever wins this game, and it's sure shaping up like it's going to be Caledonia, will play the winner of Byron Center and Portage Central. We'll get a check on that score in a second. Warren on the run. Consistently, Portage Northern finding more room running the football. This run for Warren up to the 25. All right, here's your check. Good ball game brewing. Portage Central and Byron Center all tied at 14. It's the great time of year where you have one eye on this game and one eye on another game. All right, who's winning? What potential upsets are happening? Jameer Warren on the carry. That's going to be a first down for Portage Northern across the 30 to the 32.
Good run there, and Derek Pennington holding down the edge. That outside linebacker did a good job. They picked up the first down, but that hole looked like it was going to kind of open up a little bit more, and Derek Pennington kind of collapsed it down and made a good tackle, which could have, which did prevent a bigger run.
Kind of curious to see that Portage Northern isn't going faster here. They do have all 3 timeouts. They actually have a timeout on the field. I believe Caledonia took it. Yeah, they did. Kind of curious that Portage Northern isn't going any faster here.
Yeah, and I kind of would take Jaden Walker's frame and kind of use that to my advantage a little bit here. I understand that they're running 2 high safeties, so the deep ball isn't necessarily the best option. But when you're down this big with not much time left, give your big fella a shot there.
Caledonia's got a proud football history. Let's take a peek back at their great run to the state final in 2005. 12-2, great season for Caledonia. They've updated the uniform since then. Look at that. We love a good halfback pass. Floating into the end zone for a touchdown. Fighting Scots dominated on that day in Detroit. Took down the Haslett Vikings 27-6 to win their first ever state championship. We're about a month or so away from more scenes like that at Ford Field. We'll get there in due time. A lot of football to go. Portage Northern has battled here in the second quarter, Grant. Their offense trying to make a little magic here late in the half, but it goes back to what we were saying earlier, right? A lot of people flipping around scores, checking games tonight in Michigan. There's got to be a lot of people going, what in the world? Caledonia has 49 points in the first half?
Yeah, and I'm sure they have a lot of questions. And just the only thing you need to understand is that, sometimes good things happen for teams and sometimes bad things happen for teams. Right now, everything is happening in Caledonia's favor. I mean, from the start of the game to right now, they're running the ball with efficiency and they're playing great defense. Which is just, part of the reason why they're up so big so early.
Warren on the run, got a couple of yards, and then a flag came in.
Engelberg, Greenfield stop. There are flags.
Bunch of flags on Portage Northern already in this first half. They've had 3 different false starts. Where will this penalty go? Here's your call.
5-yard face mask. Defense, number 7. 5 penalty. Still first down.
Yes, your ears and eyes did not deceive you. There is such a thing as a 5-yard face mask still in high school. And keep this in mind as we keep going through the playoffs. The only penalty that turns into an automatic first down in Michigan high school football is anything that starts with roughing. That is the only thing that gives you an automatic first down. There is such a thing as a pass interference penalty that does not give you an automatic first down.
It's good to know. I'm sure someone learned something new by that. I did first time you said it earlier this year. I definitely learned it.
And you were listening the first time I said it? Wow. How about that? He only listens to half the things I say. Braylon Amos escaping the pocket. Now he's running left. Throwing across his body, incomplete. What a remarkable effort by Braylon Amos in the pocket. Truly trying to make something out of nothing.
Yeah, and then but paid for it at the tail end of that play. Came into the likes of Derek Pennington. Reason he threw it away because he saw that linebacker running so hard. Derek Pennington committed to play. Tight end here at Western Michigan, just a really dynamic player. Son of the head coach, a guy that couldn't say enough good things about him. I mean, but statistics show that, right? I mean, just a true good football player, and just made Braylon Amos pay for that throwaway there, and just totally put him right in the ground. And that's what you're taught as linebacker when you have that opportunity to get a hit on the quarterback.
And then that time Amos just had a poor snap. Remember, Portage Northern's normal center, Zach French, injured a couple weeks ago. He's out for the year, so they had to turn Braden Hembry into the center. To his credit, he's done pretty well on all those snaps back tonight. That's his first poor one.
Yep. And Braden Hembry, is a very multi-purpose type of lineman for them. He's played multiple positions. Started really at every position over the past 2 years on that line.
Portage Northern will take a timeout here. They will have third down on the way, according to the chains on the field. Stop the clock, 54 seconds remaining in the first half. 35-0, Caledonia led after the first quarter, and only good news has continued for Caledonia here in the second. Hey, check out the State Champs RoboZone channel for the best coverage in high school robotics. State Champs has been documenting the incredible growth of the robotics community for the past 7 years. It keeps getting better. Don't miss out on any of the amazing content. The atmosphere is great, and the crowds sometimes bigger than basketball games. That is all way above my head. One of my cousins was on the robotics team in high school, and he tried explaining it to me, and I went, dude, I got up to pre-calc and honors physics, and my brain was saying, Evan, this is not for you, man. Go back to English.
Oh, yeah. I gotta watch number 5.
Yeah, no, I can't imagine what it goes into the robotics team. I mean, just such fascinating stuff. I used to love watching that as a kid. I forget what the show was, but man, they would go at it and they just attack each other. And,
yeah.
So I mean, that's props to them. That is some very, very fascinating stuff.
You may have heard that peek into the Caledonia huddle. They want to watch Jackson Lascaridis, number 5. It is fourth down. They had third down on the chains before the timeout, but it was fourth down. Braylon Amos, the quarterback, punting for the second time. Almost got blocked. Now he's going to get a great roll. And I think Portage Northern touched that ball before it could have kept rolling an extra 5 yards.
Yeah, definitely could have kept rolling there. Kind of jumped into Keegan McIntyre's lap, and he just downs it right where it sits.
All right, so Caledonia trying to put an absolute flourish on an unreal first half of football. Last week, they scored 56 points against Grand Haven, new season high for points. If they get a touchdown here, they will have tied their season high for points in a game in the first half.
Which would just be, very incredible. I mean, just coming in this game, I would have told you, it would have been a shootout back and forth. But this Caledonia team is coming out firing, and they look like they've been here before, and they definitely have.
Betzer starts alone in the shotgun. Brody given time and throwing a fastball over the middle. That's caught by Maddox Greenfield. Across midfield with a first down, and the clock stops as they move the chains. There's a flag as well on the far side of the field.
Keegan McIntyre will stop. There's the flag.
It has not been a clean first half for Portage Northern. There have been 6 different penalties assessed on the Huskies. Still trying to sort out the penalty here.
Illegal participation. Defense. More than 11 players on the field during the play. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down.
You just got to look at that score of who potentially Caledonia could be playing next week. They're floating some of the playoff scores from the west side of Michigan on the scoreboard here at Caledonia. 15-yard penalty, and we are firmly in position of Caledonia scoring over 50 points in the first half.
And Maddox Greenfield's been there, his favorite target out of the right now. But look at
Brock Townsend running a gorgeous route. Brock Townsend, you are absurd. That is his 5th touchdown in the first half. Number 6 has got 5 on it in the first half.
We're just setting records, and I couldn't get my words out before the play. I wanted to say Maddox Greenfield is their go-to guy, but when they split out Brock Townsend, they like to target him, and he runs a beautiful post corner versus that safety. Understanding that it's one-on-one coverage, right? And if you sell hard inside, you can get him to bite, and you can bust out to the post. Does a fantastic job, keeps a high angle, which gives a really nice throwing lane for Brody Besser to complete that pass.
Caledonia has equaled their season high for points in a game in the first half. And Brock Townsend may be about to do his best LeBron impression. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4. 5 touchdowns in the first half. 3 running, 1 receiving, and a punt return touchdown.
I mean, just playing out of his mind. He must have, got word that State Champs was coming because he said, I want to get on this watch list here. I want my name to be known. And young fella, you're making your name be known. And Central Michigan is taking notice right now too, and they're very happy with what they're seeing.
They are so proud of their high school football on the west side of Michigan. Brock Townsend and so many great football players on the west side of Michigan want a little bit of love. And tonight, Brock getting all the love he so richly deserves. Told you earlier how Brock's dad is the athletic director here at Caledonia. I think there'll be a big push to let people know about what Brock did in this football game tonight.
And I mean, this game will go on past the years that he's played. I mean, kids will talk about seeing this game in person. And Brock had 5 touchdowns in the first half. And what could have happened if he played the whole? Not to say he won't play the whole game, but if he comes out, the possibility he could score 10 today the way he's playing.
Portage Northern is going to get the ball to start the second half. In the first half, they just want to end. They've scored twice and had two-point conversions here in the second half, but it has just not mattered. Another run for Portage Northern. Vonzel Ty has not given up, lowering his backside across the 25 to the 26.
And it looks like they're just, like you said, they're going to try to pack things up here, run the ball, let this clock run down, and take things into the locker room here and try to make adjustments the best way you can.
That first half from Caledonia has to be one of the greatest first halves in the history of Michigan high school football. That score is not a misprint. The Caledonia Fighting Scots just scored 56 points in a truly remarkable half of football. Brock Townsend in this first half, beyond compare. 5 touchdowns, 3 on the ground, 1 punt return touchdown, and a receiving touchdown. Brody Betzer threw for 2, ran for 1. Maddox Greenfield a touchdown, catching a pick 6. I got to hear what Derek Pennington, the head coach for Caledonia, has to say to Liz Kuhn. What a first half that was.
Coach, an explosive first half. How do you carry that energy into the second?
I don't know. We're going to have to get Brock Townsend like a respirator or something at halftime because he's got a lot of yards. But we felt really good about our game plan, both running and throwing the ball, and had a lot of things open. Brody's done a nice job making some throws. Came out early on, just wanted to set the tone. Felt like we could run at him out of a heavier set, so we got in our thunder stuff to start. Made a play on a punt return, made another play on a pick 6. So, we came out ready to play, but we got to play 2 halves.
Yeah, and you kind of stole the words out of my mouth. How do you not give the ball to Brock Townsend every play? I mean, what an incredible first half. What do you like seeing from him so far?
Well, I mean, he's a hugely diverse player because you can hand it to him, he can run over people, or you can throw him passes. He's a great route runner. It's hard to single him up. People have been trying to do it all year long, and they've been regretting it. So, as long as they keep doing it, we're going to keep throwing it.
Yeah, and what's the message going to be in the locker room?
Win the second half. We got to finish this game with momentum. We can't just come out. We got some tired guys. We've had a lot of explosive plays, so we got to refuel. Give them some Fig Newtons and a Gatorade or something in there. Get them going again.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Yeah,
good luck the second
you.
half.
Thank you.
Go Scots. Evan, back to you.
Liz, if they want to share some Fig Newtons with us up here, I'm getting pretty hungry. Sounds delicious. Give Brock Townsend all the Fig Newtons he wants. 5 total touchdowns in an absurd first half. Caledonia has scored 56 times. 56 points in the first half. I got to see what happens in the second half. Halftime coming up after this.
State Champs Nation, there has never been a more exciting time to consider Lawrence Technological University. Just minutes away from 2 of Southeast Michigan's most popular entertainment destinations in Royal Oak and downtown Detroit, with 5 colleges to choose from, every admitted student is automatically reviewed for scholarships, ranging from $4,500 to $16,000 per year. LTU also offers over 24 Division II level varsity NAIA sports, and unlike NCAA Division III schools, full athletic scholarships. Come to Lawrence Tech's Visit Day on Saturday, November 18th to see state-of-the-art labs, meet passionate professors, and learn why a technologically focused education turns curiosity into magic. Sign up for Visit Day Saturday, November 18th at ltu.edu.
Welcome, State Champs Women. Is it your dream to play your favorite sport in college? State Champs Women is dedicated to providing females the equal coverage they deserve while bringing awareness to the gaps in the recruiting process for women. We want you to build a recruiting profile with us. In 3 easy steps, you can be on your way to finding your dream school and lifelong teammates and friends. Connecting futures, unlocking potential. We are State Champs Women.
You might not realize it, but tonight you made a difference. Tonight you ordered a little love, hope, and pizza. Because even though you just ordered a pizza for dinner, that one little purchase helps make a big difference. For every pizza purchased in the month of October, Hungry Howie's will make a donation to the National Breast Cancer Foundation, all on our way to raising $5 million. So this time you didn't just order pizza. You ordered a little love, hope, and pizza.
Hungry Howie's! At Alto Equipment, we know when it comes to getting your job completed on budget and on schedule, uptime matters. Alto Equipment has partnered with the biggest names in construction, including Volvo, Lieboy, Bogen, Avant, ASV, and more to provide the state of Michigan with industry-leading service and support. Alto Equipment services all makes and models, and their technicians are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Do you have a big project? Alta Rents has you covered with the most diverse rental fleet in Michigan. Give them a call at 844-GO-TO-ALTA today.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very special podcast as part of our State Champs Extra Point High School football coverage. We're talking, of course, other sports, too. My name is Lauren Plant. Always great when I have a chance to have a conversation with the executive director of the Michigan High School Athletic Association. We all know it as the MHSAA. Mark Ewell joining me. How are you today, and how would you rate the success of the fall sports season thus far from your perspective?
Good to be with you today. This has really been a great fall, all in all. It's been the first year I can remember in the last 3 where there's been no conversations with state government. There's been no conversations with health departments. It really, Lauren, it's been a back to normal kind of fall, which is something that everybody here, not just in our building, but all of our schools, desperately wanted. So, so far, so good.
Absolutely. We're going to talk about the playoff point system, the playoffs in general, most notably some of the changes to the final schedule at Ford Field. But first, I was happy to hear that football participation is starting to bounce back. I know the MHSAA and your team have done a lot of work on safety, limiting the contact days, other things like that. We all love high school football. We want to see it flourish, and it appears more student athletes are playing.
Said earlier this fall, it was about a decade ago that there were lots of folks in the media that were writing the obituary for high school football. It was at the time to where, lots of conversation about concussions and other health and safety issues. And I would make the argument now, Lauren, that a decade later, there has never been a safer time to play high school football than today. You look at the way that the playing rules have changed, the way that the game is officiated, things that we've done with practice limitations, in terms of how much contact and collision work is allowed in a week. You look at the advancement over the last 10 years in equipment and sideline detection, and you really put all of those things together, as well as there is more education and awareness now about health and safety from a coach's perspective as well as a parent perspective. That obituary that was starting to be written 10 years ago, we've really seen that really kind of turn over on its head. And again, numbers are up. There's a lot of positive energy right now around football, and that's been really exciting to see.
How long has it been now that you've been the executive director?
This is year number 6.
Wow.
So I'm like in my COVID year plus 1, if we're using a college analogy. No, I've been in the building now. I'm my 20th year here on the staff. My first 14 was as an assistant director, and I've been the director here the last 6.
Yeah, what a journey, huh?
It's been interesting, certainly the global pandemic in the middle is made it interesting, but this year has really felt good. It's been back to normal, back to business. Yes. We're really this fall dealing exclusively with normal controversy, which has been great.
Right.
Just the things that normally come up whenever you've got competition and you're keeping score, and that you take those rocks with the farm. So that's been really good.
No doubt. Let's turn our attention to football. Playoffs get going this week. The point system has been in place for a few years now. I certainly feel, and this is my opinion, it's been a great change. Do we have some teams that finished under 500 in the postseason? Yes. But the way the system is crafted, you reward a tough schedule, and I think that is helping eliminate teams avoiding perhaps scheduling certain teams, because now not only will you gain the experience of playing a quality opponent when maybe your league is not having a particular good year, but you also gain the experience, win or lose, without it hurting you significantly. So just in the past 2 weeks, we've had some really great matchups. How do you feel about it?
So this is year 3, and this is now the strength of schedule formula. And whenever you do something that's going to impact scheduling, the effect is not going to be overnight.
Right.
So when you now put a higher priority on going out and playing a more difficult or more challenging schedule, you're not going to see that in the first year of the change necessarily, because lots of non-conference schedules are done in 2-year increments, so that there's a home and away over a 2-year period. And I think what schools have now done in year 3 is they've realized, okay, with my 3 non-conference games, here's how we need to schedule, knowing how difficult our league is, knowing what our options are out there with non-conference games, how far do I want to travel, all of those factors, I think schools that have really spent time to examine the numbers and what's going to help your school, and I think that's been a good change. Lauren, whenever you're only picking or selecting or identifying 256, you're always going to have teams on the bubble.
Sure.
And so back in the 6 wins in your in days, the teams that couldn't, based on their very difficult schedule, that would just miss the 6 wins, that was the small group you heard from. And now under strength of schedule, we had one 6-win team that did not qualify this year, a few more 5-win teams that did not qualify. So that's the group of schools that really you do have some compassion and empathy for right now. But yet, by the same token, the rules of this game were set 3 years ago.
Right.
And schools do have a lot of latitude in terms of their scheduling. Schools are making decisions about conferences and divisions that they wish to join because of that. And again, I think of the 3 years that we've had this system in place, this has been the most smooth year with the least amount of criticism, because folks that know the rules of the game have played by them.
Well, let's get into the football state championships at Ford Field. You tell me if I'm wrong, but this will be the first ever state finals that will take place on a Saturday-Sunday and not a Friday-Saturday. Now, was that a hard pill to swallow when it was announced Michigan State, Penn State were going to take place on that Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, and taking that away from the MHSAA's game?
So people hate change.
Yes.
First and foremost, whenever things are different in the way that they've not been for a number of years, you're always going to get a little bit of pushback. I initially did have some heartburn, but two of our very best partners that we have are the folks at Michigan State.
Yeah.
Our longtime relationship with, and I see you there every year, Lauren, with basketball at the Breslin, and we play all of our spring championships there, baseball, softball, and girls soccer. Great relationship with the Big Ten school here in town, and we've also got a great relationship with Ford Field. They host not only football but our individual wrestling finals. And they came to us and said, look, we have a 1-year dilemma that with the new media rights deal that the Big Ten signed with NBC, they want to play the Spartan game downtown on Friday night. Now, if this would have been a recurring problem, Lauren, every other year, so let's say Penn State's coming here to Michigan every other year, and this could be something with our championships we deal with on a consistent basis, that would have been, to use your term, the tough pill to swallow.
Right.
Next year, when the college football playoff expands, what happens to the whole college football season is it moves a week earlier. So the regular season will actually end at the college level the weekend of our semifinals next year. So what I'm excited about is in the future, we're no longer having to compete for eyeballs and spectators with that noon kickoff on Saturday between Michigan and Ohio State. We're not going to be competing with Michigan State and Penn State or whoever rotates in as their closer when the league expands. So, yeah, it's different this year. Is playing on Sunday my first choice? Nope. But because it's a 1-year kind of tweak and exception, we found a creative way to make it work. And like I said, to me, the biggest takeaway here is when we get back on Friday, Saturday next year, and hopefully every year again moving forward, the only other college games played that weekend will be the conference championship games, which I think will only actually make for a better crowd and spectator experience downtown than what we currently have now.
Now, when the schedule came out, I had to say that I was really excited to see that the Saturday night game was going to be the Division I game and the Sunday nightcap would be Division II. What were the reasons for those changes?
So we put the biggest schools late in the evening. And so one, we wanted to see, okay, is that going to impact interest or crowds? The second thing is because those are the latest games of both nights, looking right now at the teams who likely could get on a run, with maybe the exception of a school in Division I from West Michigan. So right. a Rockford or a Granville, one of those schools. With that lone exception, and then the same thing in Division II. Often you've got a Metro Detroit team playing, in some years, another school from West Michigan. So that could be Mona Shores. This year it could be Caledonia.
Or Muskegon, who is now in Division II.
Or Muskegon, who's now Division II. Exactly right. I could almost guarantee you won't have in the Division I or II game as a UP school. Rarely in the Division I or II game will you have even a school from northern lower Michigan, where now with that Sunday night game, now again, our Sunday games are starting a half hour earlier, just to try and get those folks playing later in the day back on the road and back to their communities and homes a half hour earlier. But at least by making the D1 and D2 games the latest game of the day, the farthest trip for anybody is going to, generally speaking, be West Michigan. So we thought that was a good move. We still go kind of a small division game, bigger division game, another smaller division game, and then the biggest, because Ford Field, that was their only request. Just in terms of getting the crowd egress in and out, that tends to work better than if you play the Division II game than the Division I game. So to me, it's a little bit exciting that we're trying something new. We'll see how we like it. We'll see what kind of feedback we get from the schools. Even though, Lauren, I said that Sunday wasn't my first choice to be playing,
right,
I am fascinated to see what our Sunday crowds are like. The Lions will have already played on Thursday.
Yep.
A lot of times, I think some families had the dilemma of, I'd like to go to the high school finals, but with it being Friday, Saturday, Friday, we still have family from out of town that's still here.
Right.
And I can't go down to Detroit on Friday. Well, now, if, we get the right matchups, the right teams, a quick trip down to Detroit on Sunday, you're not missing the Lions game.
Right.
You can, follow your fantasy league team on your phone.
Exactly.
Who knows? That might actually be better for us with attendance, and that's something else we'll kind of study and see how that goes.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And finally, Mark, I can't tell you how excited our Game Time Live team is to be live streaming the 8-player Division I and II state championships on Saturday, November 18th, well, especially because they're indoor games, so that always makes it nice. But seriously, what is the health of 8-player football here in the state of Michigan?
It's good. So we've now got 2 divisions of 8-player. The number of schools that play it are growing. It's small, but we do have some growth each year. I can tell you that one thing we are going to focus on for next year is trying to give some more support to our small schools that are still playing 11-player.
Okay.
Perhaps setting a cap that to be a Division 8 11-player, you've got to be 250 students or less. What we'd love to see is, even though 8-player has been great in a lot of our smaller communities, we'd like to see some schools, our small schools, look now with numbers and participation being up.
Right.
Would we ever see a transition now back to 11-player if they know, hey, that smallest division of 11-player to get a chance to play in Ford Field, we know we're only going to have to compete against schools 250 or less, and I think that has some good support. But we're excited about the 8-player tournament.
Yeah.
It's one of the coolest venues in the country. If your listeners and viewers have never been to the Superior Dome in Marquette,
right,
it's a fantastic venue, fantastic facility, and we're very blessed, as you well know, that we play 10 championship football games in our state, and every single one of them you and I can watch in a short sleeve shirt. It's a blessing given our climate and our temperatures in November that we're able not just to play, we're able to play both weekends indoors, which has been just fantastic.
Mark Ewell is the MHSAA Executive Director. As always, it's been a pleasure. You've got a great team there at the MHSAA. A lot of work as all the remainder of the fall sports season see their conclusion here in November, including football. So give our best to your team. Take care, and we'll do this again sometime.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, we're back at Caledonia. Thanks to Mark Ewell for making a little time, as always. Caledonia, that first half, maybe just had the greatest first half in the history of the school. 56 points, 5 total touchdowns for Brock Townsend. And now as Portage Northern gets the ball to start the second half, they are looking for any sort of glimmer. Jaden Walker on the return, trying to set up the blocks. Got a little room right side, and he's tripped up just shy of the 30. Portage Northern, Grant, did have a couple of drives that ended in touchdowns and 2-point conversions in the first half. We're going to hear down on the sidelines in just a second. Liz Kuhn talked to the coaching staff for Portage Northern at the break, but I'm sitting here wondering, what do you tell a team with the way that first half went?
Man, you just got to kind of rally the guys, right? And a lot of these guys are playing in their last high school game. So you just kind of bring them together, understanding that this moment has bright spots and can have bright spots, and if you work together right now, you can kind of make the most out of this second half and go out with the biggest bang possible.
Braylon Amos threw for a touchdown. Von Zell-Tyus ran for one in the first half. Tyus on the run, getting across the 30 and getting 3.5 on first down. For more, down to the sidelines we go. Liz Kuhn standing by.
Hey guys, I talked to Coach Twitchell during the break. He said we got to go out there and keep fighting. He said we're a really good team. We didn't show that in the first half, but that's what the second half is for. We're going to go out there and keep fighting and get the job done. Guys?
Appreciate that. You kind of figured that would be the message from Portage Northern going into the second half. They're not lying. That first half was just a comedy of disastrous events. Tyus on the run, keeping his legs moving, slipping a couple of tackles. Townsend brings him down. Third down and short is coming up. This is how the game starts in the first 3.5 minutes. Caledonia gets a 65-yard touchdown run from Brock Townsend's second play of the game. Then Portage Northern fumbles the kickoff. Caledonia gets it, scores 3 plays later. Then Portage Northern throws a pick 6. So most of the crowd wasn't even here yet, and it was 21-0 Caledonia already.
I mean, you blinked and you missed about 3 to 4 scores. Caledonia came out hot. Kind of the ball was bouncing in their right direction. They get that turnover on the kickoff, which gave them 2 possessions before Portage Northern even get 1. Sometimes things go right for teams, and right now everything is going right for Caledonia, and they're capitalizing with the opportunities. And if you're Portage Northern, like Liz said, and what Coach had to say, you just got to keep fighting, right? A lot of guys are playing in their last game, and you got to go out with a bang, something that you'll remember, past your time here.
It's 4th down 1 for Portage Northern. Tyus the back with Amos in the gun. They give it to Tyus, who's got the first down with ease, and a lot more. Von Zell-Tyus down the right sidelines. Stiff arm, he kept going and got into the end zone. A touchdown of 61 yards on 4th and 1 for Portage Northern.
And that's how you start the second half, right? You got to come out swinging. You're down big, but don't give up. Keep fighting for those seniors. And right there, Von Zell-Tyus does a fantastic job of getting north and south and making the safety. Brock Townsend miss, gets vertical, then hits the sideline and gives him another stiff arm to Reed Vogler, which gets him and propels him into the end zone. Really good run there, and just breathes a little bit of life into this Portage Northern team and that sideline, and they needed that more than ever.
So now that's the 3rd different touchdown scored by Portage Northern. And what in the world are they doing on this play? They just did ring around the rosy goose. These are plays straight out of Jim Harbaugh's playbook. Or Andy Reid's. They'll run it right. Braylon Amos not going to get there. Caledonia stops him this time. Derek Pennington says, enough. And Alex Klingensmith in there too. Alta Equipment knows when it comes to getting your job completed on budget and on schedule, uptime matters. Alta Equipment partners with the biggest names in construction with industry-leading service and support. Give them a call at 844-GO-TO-ALTA. Great start for Portage Northern. Von Zell-Tyus, the long touchdown run to make it 56-22. And this goes back, Grant, to what Derek Pennington, Caledonia's coach, told Liz walking off the field at half. We got to go win the second half. We got to gain momentum going into next week. Game's not over, but Caledonia firmly in position to win, right? So this start to the half's not going to make him happy at all.
No, and you're up big, but you do have an opportunity right now to get some players, some vital time right now, some playoff time, some guys that may not have, may not be able to get as many reps as these starters. So, this, can be looked at as an opportunity to, one, sharpen your blade a little bit here going forward into this playoff run, but then also to, get some guys that haven't got to experience some more experience.
So Kucharski kicks it away. It's a ground ball rolling. And fielded right around the 20. That's Maddox Greenfield on the return. Look at him go down the sidelines, and he's pushed out of bounds right around midfield. Greenfield has had an explosive night. A pick 6, a long touchdown catch, and now a nice return. And that Caledonia offense, which needs exactly 0 help, right back in business.
Yeah, let's see if they pick up where they left off. Coming into this second half, let's see what kind of adjustments Portage Northern makes on defense. They've been getting gashed, up the middle. They're a little bit weak at the linebacker position right now. Kind of just way they structure themselves. They got outside linebackers that are doing a fantastic job of containing everything and making sure everything spills. But when you run up the ball up the middle, you kind of leave your linebackers there on an island, especially when those linemen are getting up to the second level for some good blocks.
Betzer turns and gives to Heron. There is nobody near him. Blake Heron literally untouched. 50 yards, touchdown, but there is a flag at the line of scrimmage. Looks like Jackson Engelberg maybe had a hold. They're talking to the Caledonia coaching staff.
Personal foul, illegal block below the waist. Defense, number 77. That 15-yard penalty to be assessed on the 16.
All right, let's get a look at Blake Heron literally not getting touched by a soul.
And like we said, they're getting gashed up the middle right now. They're not getting enough push from the linebackers, north and south right now. The gaps in between the tackles are just being, really just taken advantage of by this Caledonia offensive attack. And they're doing a fantastic job of getting linebackers to the, getting alignment to the second level, getting combination blocks, and really just making these runs untouched, huge touchdown runs. And Caledonia it just keeps piling it on. And you see, Blake Heron there, getting his name on the board and saying, hey, you know what, Brock Townsend, I can do it too.
First run of the night for Blake Heron into the end zone. The officiating crew talking to the Portage Northern coaching staff before this extra point for Nathan Moss. We told you there was a chance of rain around 9:30. It's just past 8:30, and the rain is really starting to come down now. Moss adds yet another extra point. So raindrops are coming. Lawrence Technological University, located in Southfield, Michigan. It's among the largest college of architecture and design in the nation. They have visit days coming up November 18th, December 9th. Go learn more and visit ltu.edu. We are firmly getting in territory here of Caledonia having one of the greatest offensive nights in their school's history. This is a new season high for points. They scored 56 last week against Grand Haven. Last year in a win at North Farmington, they dropped 68. 63 points 3 minutes into the third quarter. There are going to be some basketball games this year for Caledonia where they don't score 63.
Yeah, and coming into this year, before tonight, they've scored 315 points total on their season. Compared to last year at this point, after regular season wise, they were at 380. So they were down, a little bit less on the point scoring there, but right now, the 63 points, they can put themselves right back up in that 380 range, for the season right now, and just firing on all cylinders. Just really taking what's there, but also just kind of being very physical up front and just very demanding.
After the penalty, Walker for Portage Northern fielded the ball on a knee. Was he in the end zone or was he down at the 1? He was down at the 1.
Fielded the kickoff on a knee.
I think the best way to illustrate how well Caledonia's offense played in the first half, they scored 56 points. The Pistons are playing in Charlotte tonight. The Pistons scored 54 points in the first half. They're winning, though. Burks had 15 in the first half. Cade only had 10 after 30 the other night. The rain is coming in stops and starts, and there's also a wind, which is whipping up some of those leaves that have been falling off the trees all week. From the end zone, the give to one of the backs, that's Jameer Warren, who did get out of the end zone and maybe got back to the line.
Just kind of the same story, everything that can go wrong will go wrong, and just another example of that kickoff there. Jaden Walker fields it, but not knowingly fields it on the 1 with the knee down, and kind of just puts them way back into their territory, and it's giving them 99 yards to work with. It's just kind of just the story of how their day's gone if you're Portage Northern.
Gotta get out of the end zone. Amos did get out of the end zone, and it's going to be third down. I hope you can see on the screen all these leaves that are rustling through as the wind blows through here at Caledonia. Reminds me of Winnie the Pooh and his blustery day. Read that one too many times when I was a little kid. Third down, long way to go for Portage Northern. They're snapping it into their own end zone right now. Snap to Amos, floats it out. Lascaridis wide open. Oh my goodness, what a crunch at the end of the play. Jackson Lascaridis has got the first down. And Caledonia's defense here, poor Cameron Van Hoff, was trying to hang on for dear life.
Jackson Lascaridis, he leads the team in crunch bars, and that's a defensive stat. It means they get a crunch bar every time they get a big hit. Right there, he might get a crunch bar offensively because that was a truck stick if you've ever seen one. Really good job, and way to get out of the your own end zone there and pick up a first down when your back was against the wall.
And it's a Portage Northern team still fighting hard. Bad snap on a windy night. This one rolling into the end zone, and Amos is brought down for a safety. Braden Hembry is not the normal center. He's playing because Zach French was injured earlier this month. Bad snap leads to a couple more for Caledonia.
And just when you thought they weren't going to get a safety, they get a little bit out, they get a first down, and then just, the wind and Braden Hembry, with a little bit of a bad snap, goes over. Braylon Amos has relatively had good snaps all night, maybe one here and there, but there it just, is a crusher. Then River Swanland comes in with the safety tackle, and he's playing off of a recently healed broken fibula, and he's moving very well.
Man, this Caledonia team, right? So we've been talking about it. So many people are going to be impressed by the point total. But the thing I keep coming back to watching this game tonight, Grant, and I'm sure there's a lot of folks who would agree, man, Derek Pennington, when he took over this program 3 years ago, they had a proud history, but they had missed the playoffs in the prior 5 seasons before he got there. Now in the 3 seasons since Derek Pennington has arrived on the scene, with his son, Derek Jr. in tow, they've made the playoffs 3 straight times. They made the state title game last year, gave Belleville one of their few tough games all year, and with the way that they've played tonight, they've got to be one of the proverbial favorites in Division II going forward.
Yeah, and just like you said, since Derek Pennington's got there, it's just kind of just been a night and day shift. They've come in, like you said earlier, they're 29-6 since he's been there. Overall, and they're 17-4 in conference play throughout his time there. So they found a formula. He brought his son over, Derek Pennington, who brings just a leadership about him. It's kind of a nice 1-2 duo, a blocking back for Brock Townsend, and they got a good formula going on. And like you said, after tonight, it's going to be hard to imagine, people aren't circling Caledonia saying, this is the team we got to keep our eye on.
Kacharski's kick returned by Greenfield. Running right with room again. Made the kicker miss, then he got angled out of bounds. Caledonia in brilliant starting field position once again. Before Brody Betzer was under center for Caledonia, we talked about this guy tonight, Mason McKenzie was at the helm and he was brilliant. Dual threat QB, a Mr. Football finalist last year as Caledonia made it to the Division I state championship game. He's actually going to make his college debut tomorrow for Saginaw Valley as they take on Davenport. And the head coach for Caledonia, Derek Pennington, said earlier this week, I'm going to do my absolute best to be there for Mason tomorrow. He could not stop saying nice things about everything Mason did in the last few years.
Yeah, he was big on Mason and just a big contributor to that finals run that they had last season.
Brock Townsend, his first carry of the second half. It's almost stunning when he doesn't take the ball into the end zone tonight.
Yeah, it's more times than not you're assuming that he's going to break through and have a big run there. But Portage Northern, they got to lock up here. They got to do their best to keep him out of the end zone. It's going to be a hard task. When you got this much momentum, you might have a few short runs here and there. But the way that they're moving this line of scrimmage, the way that they're getting the linemen on the second level for these combination blocks, Caledonia, it can do what they want when they want.
Starting to cycle through some of the bodies here. First carry of the ball game for Dallas Moody, a very talented freshman, tackled at the 30, setting up third down.
Yeah, talented freshman. Also, is their starting cornerback. Kind of the third string option right now on this committee of running backs, but has seen some end of game time here. Towards the end of their season, and is a guy that they are really high on. Says that he has a really high ceiling and a bright future at Caledonia.
Caledonia in no hurry. Have to imagine that the starters are coming out probably after this drive. Betzer gives to Brock Townsend. Swallowed by the D-line for Portage Northern, shy of the first down. They're confident in their kicker, Nathan Moss, a strong leg for the soccer player, but this will be a long kick, about 45 yards. So they're going to keep the offense on the field.
Yeah, and I mean, like you pointed out earlier, this wind is whirling right now. So, you got to keep that into consideration when considering kicks. And, this isn't a short kick from this distance. So, you got about 3 yards here to pick up. You're averaging, 8, 9, 10, whatever it is on the day per carry. I imagine they give it back to their workhorse Brock.
3 running touchdowns, 5 total touchdowns for Brock Townsend in the first half. Throw caught. Greenfield got a block on the outside, got the first down and more. Rolling inside the 20 to the 17-yard line.
And when Greenfield catches the ball, you can just tell he has a different gear, and he hits it every time. I mean, watch when he catches this screen. Little receiver screen right. They're playing off coverage. Why not take the easy completion? Great play call here, and they just let Greenfield do the rest of the work. I mean, he catches it, gets north and south, and you can see his change of direction is at an elite level right now, and no surprise. I mean, 10 touchdowns on the year coming into tonight. You're just a big playmaker for them when Brock Townsend needs a rest on the play call.
They take Betzer off the field for a play. And they've got the 2 backs, Townsend and Heron, in the backfield together. Snap it to Heron. Give it to Greenfield. Cuts it up, but he was tackled shy of the line of scrimmage. Good job of the Portage Northern D staying home.
Yep, stayed home there, and that's one thing about the Portage Northern D. They're really good on contain, right? They got good rules, and they got good understanding of why and how to contain and make things keep running laterally and out of space. They have had no issue containing the run game, outside of the tackles, but it's inside the tackles today where they've had some issues.
Now Betzer comes back on the field. When he came off the field on the last play, some fans gave him a hand. They were wondering if they were pulling Brody. A little premature celebration of Brody's night. He deserves it. The whole team does. Betzer setting up a screen that's tipped, almost picked. Tried to run that play a couple times tonight.
Yeah, they haven't had much success at it. It's there, right? The linemen are kind of running upfield, but Zay Brunson does a really good job. Coach coined the nickname a man-child, a young sophomore, but is just an absolute, beast in the weight room. Really good heads-up play there. As a D-line, when you're getting a free rush, you got to understand that, something's up. Something's not right. You got to usually expect a screen, and they come through and they get a good deflection there.
Longest third down of the night for Caledonia. Heron and Townsend in this 2-back set again. They keep it with Heron running left. He was tackled approaching the 10. Good gain, but not a first down gain. And now we'll see what decision Caledonia makes.
Just go a little QB counter there. They send Brock to the front side, try to get the eyes going that way. And they got linemen too, the backside tackle and guard pulling front side. You get a good kick out block, give a nice lane right in that C gap area, and then Blake Herring gets up north and south as much as he can and makes this another very manageable 4th down attempt for them here.
Keeping the offense on the field. Betzer back in at quarterback. Running a reverse. Betzer blocks for Greenfield. How cool is that? Quarterback helping his wide receiver, and Greenfield in again.
And they're just scoring anyway and however they can take it. I mean, they're just going to run a little bit. Essentially, it looks like it could be a Philly special. If Brock were to, Brody were to get in the flat there, that's a Philly special. But no, Brody, gets a nice lead block there for his receiver Greenfield, and Greenfield does the rest of the work. Greenfield is elusive in space, and that's a guy that you got to try to contain. Really good job there by the Caledonia offense of dialing that one up on 4th down.
This is one of the greatest nights offensively in the history of Caledonia football. Maddox is exhausted. How could you not be? They have scored 72 points, and the third quarter isn't over yet.
I mean, this is essentially, we're entering video game numbers here. I mean, this is, everyone is scoring for Caledonia. I mean, they're getting everyone involved. I mean, Greenfield, Bronson, Townsend, Brody has scored on a QB run. The game plan that they came in with, that they felt confident with, is showing, success, and it is working. This is a formula that they're going to have to keep going throughout these playoffs as, the teams will get harder and harder. But right now they are dominating Portage Northern in every aspect of this game.
This is one of those games where you're happy as a coach that, the way tonight has gone, it has for Caledonia. But it's also one of the deals, coaches, right? They love to critique. They love to complain. They're always trying to coach up the guys. When the entire team puts up 72 points, it's one of those film sessions where you're honestly sitting there going, where the heck do I critique here?
Yeah, like you said, coaches they're notorious for, like you could have a 72-point win, right? But they're going to find ways to critique you. That's just the coach and all these coaches, right? They want to find ways to make you better. And going forward, you can't rely on a 72-point game, especially in these playoffs. So they'll find ways to critique and have some some criticism there.
Nice job by McIntyre on the return, and now we're going to get a late flag. I think one of the Caledonia kick coverage guys hit McIntyre as he was out of bounds. Because it's a 50-point lead, the clock will run no matter what. So they'll sort out the penalty. This will take us to the start of the fourth quarter. Portage Northern's going to get excellent starting field position after it. Got to figure out the yardage here and where the fourth quarter will start. We'll let you know about that after this break.
You might not realize it, but tonight you made a difference. Tonight you ordered a little love, hope, and pizza. Because even though you just ordered a pizza for dinner, that one little purchase helps make a big difference. For every pizza purchased in the month of October, Hungry Howie's will make a donation to the National Breast Cancer Foundation, all on our way to raising $5 million. So this time you didn't just order pizza. You ordered a little love, hope, and pizza.
Hungry Howie's. At Alto Equipment, we know when it comes to getting your job completed on budget and on schedule, uptime matters. Alto Equipment has partnered with the biggest names in construction, including Volvo, Lieboy, Bogen, Avant, ASV, and more to provide the state of Michigan with industry-leading service and support. Alto Equipment services all makes and models, and their technicians are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Do you have a big project? Alta Rents has you covered with the most diverse rental fleet in Michigan. Give them a call at 844-GO-TO-ALTA today.
Every high school sporting event in the state of Michigan has one thing in common: officials. Every game, every meet, every match. Without officials, there'd be no touchdowns, no three-pointers, no face-offs. Without officials, there'd be no games. Officiating is a great way to give back to your community and stay involved with the sports you love. And officials are needed now more than ever, because without officials, it's just practice.
Hey guys, welcome back. Caledonia having an absolutely outstanding performance here tonight. The sideline's hyped up, the student section's going crazy, bearing the weather. Evan, Grant, do you think that these guys have a chance of making it to Ford Field this year?
Liz, great question. But coming out after this game right here, coming out and trying to look at it, I mean, they've been scoring at multiple facets. They got guys scoring on the perimeter at receiver in Greenfield, and then Brock Townsend at running back, accompanied with Derek Pennington and Brody Bester. So they definitely have an opportunity to go really far in this playoff. And then their defense is playing really well too. So yeah, to answer your question, Liz, I think this team has as good a shot as anyone, especially after tonight.
Caledonia calls a timeout here, fresh after the quarter break. You don't usually see that. The thing, bouncing off your point, Grant, that I think about, right? Our friend, Joel Klatt on Fox, part of that great broadcast team with Gus Johnson and the All-American girl, Jenny Taft. He likes to talk on his podcast about how a football team's good when you can take away their best thing that they do. In baseball, the term is out pitch. As a pitcher, that's what you're going to use to get strikeouts, right? A team's good when they have an out pitch or they have multiple ways to beat you. And that's what stands out about Caledonia tonight. Teams are going to watch film and go, there's no way Brock Townsend's beating us, so we're going to put 8 in the box. Okay, well, Betzer can just throw it over you. We've seen Max Greenfield make some plays. They have multiple ways to win last year and multiple ways to win this year. That's why they're dancing up 50 in the fourth quarter.
And you make a great point, and it's funny you bring that up. I actually was listening to that podcast as I was walking my dog this week. I love listening to Joel Klatt's breakdown, and you hit it right on the nose. Every team's got an out pitch, but it's what you can do without it, right? And an out pitch in this situation would be Brock Townsend. But you've seen tonight the multiple guys scoring and doing it in a fashion that, that doesn't require Brock. Doesn't require speed. Guys are just hitting the holes, so that means linemen are playing hard. So you're right. You got different out pitches.
Von Zell-Tyus, 2 straight runs for touchdowns. Third run for a touchdown tonight for Von Zell and his 19th of the season.
And just going to see Vonzel Tyus here just hit the hole and just start moving those feet. Look at the cut here. Great block on the edge and just getting north and south. He's cutting against the safety here, getting back to the green grass and doing a fantastic job. Jaden Walker just being a protection blocker there and just piling a couple points here late in this game.
Once again, they do ring around the rosy. I doubt Andy Reid's watching this game, but if he is, he loves these play calls. Wide open man, 2-point conversion again. Keegan McIntyre was all by his lonesome.
When they do that hocus pocus, round the wild goose chase, they're trying to get those defensive guys, their alignment's messed up, right? They all had an assignment. If 4 guys go to the left, you got to understand that the 4 guys on the left side of the defense have to, match that. So when they're spinning, they're trying to get that defense off their heels, and it's worked a couple times here tonight as they've gone kind of an air raid look where they go, 2 to 3 down linemen, and everyone else is split out wide, and they let Braylon Amos play backyard football.
Hungry Howie's a great partner of the State Champs Network's Mr. Football and Anvil Awards. Tonight, order a little love, hope, and pizza. Help make a difference when ordering Hungry Howie's and their goal of donating $5 million to the National Breast Cancer Foundation. Go order your pizza at hungryhowies.com. That Spider-Man? It is. What's up, Pete? He's not a very good dancer, though. MJ's got to take him to some dance classes or something.
Yeah, so he wasn't grooving right there. This is a good song. I want to see a little bit more hips into it.
As Chubbs Peterson once said, it's all in the hips, my man. Kacharski will kick it away for Portage Northern. And here's a return for Caledonia. Flag. Maybe bringing this one back. The return did not make the 25, and we'll check the flag. While we're on the topic, Grant, A, do you like superhero movies? B, do you have a favorite Spider-Man?
Yes, it's A, I do like superhero movies, and B, my favorite Spider-Man would have to be Tobey Maguire.
Okay. You're revealing to the entire audience the age we were when we first consumed Spider-Man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Return team number 4. 10-yard penalty. Caledonia keeps the ball.
I am partial to Tom Holland. I think he does a great job, right? He's the one who actually looks like a teenager. Tobey Maguire, I think, was our age, like 26 when he played. He just happened to look young. And Andrew Garfield was really good. The best part of those movies was he had the most natural chemistry with the love interest, which made sense because he was dating Emma Stone at the time. They were just a great pairing. Those movies were just okay, but those two were fantastic.
Yeah, you hit it on the nose. Tom Holland's kind of the younger generation Spider-Man, and us old heads up in the booth. We appreciated Tobey Maguire and the work he did.
And they were all together in the last Spider-Man movie. I held back some tears when I saw it. Dallas Moody, a second carry of the game, ran for a touchdown at the end of last week's game. Talented freshman, 6 feet, 185 already. Also hoping to play some hoops for Caledonia once football season ends.
Yeah, a really talented freshman and a guy that's getting, he doesn't even understand the kind of minutes he's getting right now. These are just going to be so vulnerable, especially later in his career, understanding that I've been in this situation before, and I know how to operate, and these are, very valuable minutes for all these guys playing right now. As Caledonia is going to get some second stringers in here and let some other guys get some run late in this fourth quarter.
Bryce Backus, the freshman quarterback, is in. You talk about invaluable experience. Freshman handing to freshman, and Moody maybe gains 2. I think when Bryce woke up this morning, if his mom, his dad, one of his friends had told him, hey, man, I think you're going to play tonight, he probably went, I am? Really?
Yeah, no doubt. He definitely, probably would have been like, well, why? What's the circumstance? Are we winning? Are we losing? And he definitely wouldn't have believed the score. 72-30. Just Caledonia has owned this game, but it also has given the ability, for these parents and these, the community to kind of see some other guys that may not see, as many reps later in the run, to get some opportunity here and play in some fun playoff minutes.
We'll see if they let Bryce throw the ball here. They will. Backus dropping back. He floats one down the sideline, and he overshot his intended target. That was another freshman, Lincoln Senti.
Lincoln Senti, he's a guy that has gotten some starting minutes here this season. A freshman, like you said, but is another up-and-coming guy that just shows a lot of potential. Just having a really good season this far, and is a guy that is going to be kind of paving the way going forward for this underclassman here at Caledonia.
So a stop for Portage Northern's defense. We've reached the part of the game where some of the backups are coming in for Caledonia, and Portage Northern keeping so many of their starters on the field. Moss, the kicker and punter, gets a quick one away. It sails over McIntyre's head, and this is going to turn into a remarkable punt. It's still rolling. We're going to down it right around the 13. Wow. Our next Game Time Live broadcast coming up next Friday, the 3rd November. It's 7 o'clock. We'll have a district final matchup from the east side of our great state of Michigan. The announcement on the social media channels for state champs coming on Monday. Game is available to watch on MHSAA.tv. I have to imagine a few Caledonia football fans are going to be excited to watch back the replay of this game. I think Brock Townsend's going to enjoy watching all 5 of his touchdowns.
Yeah, and he has every right to. I mean, the way he's been scoring, he's got to credit the O-line. They've been doing a fantastic job, but also he's an electric player.
The last 2 offensive plays for Portage Northern, by the way, have gone for touchdowns. Monzel Tyus has run for touchdowns on each of his last 2 totes. This is Ortiz. Spun down as he was tackled at the 15. You know, we've said so many nice things about Caledonia, Grant, and obviously this is the end of the season for Portage Northern that they did not want. Caledonia staring down the winner of the game on the screen, by the way. Byron Center and Portage Central locked in a tight one tonight. But let's give a little love to Portage Northern. The season will end at 8-2. Great season for a program on the rise under Kurt Twitchell. By the way, his wife coaches at the rival, Portage Central. They promise us that that's not awkward. Amos throws and the pass is incomplete. An offense that scored 45 points per game, and they're sitting on 30 tonight, even on a night where nothing went right. The offense still managed to score 30. They're going to lose a lot. They had 19 guys coming back from last year's team. Seniors will be departing, but they've left a great foundation for this Portage Northern team going forward. And oh, by the way, their left tackle, Gregory Patrick, who's already been offered by a dozen Division I schools, he's coming back for a couple more years.
Yeah, and they, like you said, they built a foundation, and they've kind of paved the way, right? Each year they've gotten better. I mean, in his first year they went 3-6, second year 7-4, and then this year they're 8-1, trending towards 8-2. So it's it's a positive increase, built on the back of these seniors and these guys that have kind of paved the way. Like you said, Gregory Patrick has a bright future and a few more years to showcase his talent. But then you got Jackson Altwice, who was a Air Force commit, starting right tackle, defensive end for this team that is giving his all out there, and guys like Jaden Walker going to Michigan State, kind of just paving the way, showing these guys, these younger classmen, that you can play ball after high school, and it's possible here at Portage Northern. So congrats to them and on the season that they've been having so far.
Nice carry on the last play by Ortiz. Play action for Amos on first down. Braylon Amos trying to make it happen. Roll it away. Tried to stay in bounds, but they mark him out of bounds. That clock is running because it's over 35 points. With Caledonia up by 42, the clock continuing to tick. Braylon Amos just made a nice play. He's been making plays all year. In the loss to Portage Central just a few weeks ago, Braylon Amos made one of the plays of the year. Look at this, with sound effects. Leapt over a guy, slipped a tackle. Now we speed up the footage, look at him go. Oh, he got a block. Oh, he got down the sidelines. One more block. Crazy. Was that Mario? Is that the sound effect right there?
That definitely had to be, and it caught me off guard. I was like, whoa, where did that come from? But that was a fantastic run, and it was well-deserving of that Mario sound effect.
Braylon Amos, the senior quarterback, came in 17 passing touchdowns, 8 rushing touchdowns. Jameer Warren on the run, tackled by his jersey. Second down. Warren, the guy who just ran it, senior. Quarterback Amos, a senior. McIntyre, Walker, Hughes, seniors. So, yes, there is going to be a little bit of a reload for Portage Northern. But Kurt Twitchell in 3 years, 18-11, 8 more wins this year. Tonight they just ran into a Caledonia offense that I don't know who could have stopped them. There are brighter days ahead for Portage Northern, no question about it. As Braylon Amos with a nice run again. He wasn't down. He's still going inside the 40.
And if there's one guy not giving up, it's Braylon Amos. I mean, running with conviction right now. Trying to get every yard possible, understanding the situation that him and so many seniors are finding themselves in. You love to see it, right? Everyone's been in those shoes before playing a sport in high school, and those last few days wind down, and it's all about what you do and how you remember how you do it, right? The effort that you give will be remembered. And if you don't give effort, you'll kind of regret that later on in life.
Warren's still fighting. Portage Northern will not stop going until the bitter end. Good-looking drive here. Could be their last of the year. Move the chains again. First down.
And if you're a coach, you're preaching to these guys, let's keep finishing, let's keep driving, keep moving your guy off the ball. No one give up. And you just kind of rally behind these seniors and keep going hard. I mean, just put this thing in the end zone, act like it's a 0-0 ball game right now, and kind of just block out the noise, block out the distractions, and let's have a successful drive right here, right now.
Trying to finish this season strong. Amos loads up, throws to the end zone. It's through McIntyre's hands. Incomplete. Nice coverage there. One of the new guys into the ball game for Caledonia. That's Colin Kowach on the coverage.
Good job by Colin Kowach. That overhanging safety. These guys, these receivers, Keegan and Jaden, have made some plays tonight that have kind of made Caledonia go too high look. Right, those cornerbacks can run with them, but it gets to a point in which they can't keep up. So that safety over top gives a little bit extra help. And it was the reason that pass wasn't completed, because he got over top, was able to defend the outside shoulder there for the go ball, and made a nice PBU.
Amos gives. Warren runs. Oh, my goodness. What a tackle in the open field. Everybody making plays out there tonight. Vant Hoff. Excellent open field tackle for Caledonia.
Great open field tackle. And when you get your opportunity, you got your the running back lined up. In a situation like this, you want to give it your all and really bring him to the ground. Really good tackle there by Van Hoff.
Under a minute to go. Braylon Amos on the run. Got a block on the outside. Tiptoed his way. Ahead for the first down. Clock still rolling with the score being what it is, so let's see if Portage Northern gets to snap it at least one more time. Braylon's got to catch his breath. He's been running all over that field tonight.
Yeah, he's been busy. He's been busy running side to side, north and south. Here's having a really good drive. They're moving down the field. They're going to try to cap this thing off with a touchdown here.
They'll take their time. Maybe the last snap of the season. Amos fakes. Throws over Laskaritas. And that'll be it. Caledonia back in Division II and making a statement in round one of the playoffs. One of the greatest offensive nights in the history of their school. Brock Townsend, 5 total touchdowns. Caledonia, 72 total points. Do not sleep on the Fighting Scots.
Fighting Scots came out tonight, came out with a game plan of north and south, downhill running, led behind Brock Townsend, the senior running back committed to Central Michigan. And you got to imagine, if you're a Chippewa fan or anyone related to that program, you got to be excited about what you saw tonight. And you definitely, as a program, have put the state on notice. With a 72-point score here in the playoffs, that's pretty unheard of. So big props to them. They came out, they executed their game plan. And Portage Northern just couldn't catch a break. I mean, turnovers and just not converting when needed to, and couldn't get stops. Unfortunate, end of their season. But both teams here are going to walk away with a little bit of a bright spot. They got to find the bright. Obviously there's a lot of bright here for Caledonia, but if you're Portage Northern, those seniors, they came out here, they fought hard, they didn't give up. So you got to give them a pat on the back and congratulate them for the season they had and kind of the path that they carved.
Yeah, I don't want this to get lost. Look, Portage Northern, the score is what it is. But they just had a great season. They've got a great coach. We really enjoyed getting to know their program a little bit this week. But tonight does belong to that student section. It belongs to the Caledonia Fighting Scots, who have a tremendous head coach of their own in Derek Pennington. Kurt Twitchell, the head coach for Portage Northern, said, I can't wait to coach against Pennington. I've been to some of his coaching clinics. I think he does a remarkable job, and I want to see what I've got. Tonight just was not Portage Northern's night, as Caledonia scores 72 total points. Brock Townsend has 5 total touchdowns. And an offense that was just not Brock Townsend tonight. Their quarterback, Brody Betzer, had a good night. Couple of throwing touchdowns, 1 running. Maddox Greenfield, a run and a touchdown catch. But tonight belonged to the Caledonia Fighting Scots and Brock Townsend, who's standing by with Liz Coop.
Brock, how's that for the start of the playoffs? I mean, 5 touchdowns. How'd it feel to just keep counting those up?
I mean, overall, it's just a great team win. I mean, defense, I think, needs to be a lot better. We need to focus on that a lot more. Offensively, we ran the ball pretty well. I mean, I think we can throw the ball a little bit more. Just overall, just trying to get better for next week.
Yeah, and how do you keep this momentum rolling moving forward?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think we always got to play with a chip on our shoulder. They still scored 30 points. That's a lot of points to give up. And defensively, we need to stay more solid. Offensively, we had a great scheme, great plan, great everything. 72 points. I mean, I don't know what it was, 49 in the first half. That's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. And what makes this group so special?
I think it's the camaraderie. I mean, we're always messing with each other, just trying to have fun, do whatever we can, just be with each other and just try to have fun while we're out here playing the game we love.
Yeah, we'll go enjoy this one. Thank you so much. Congrats. All right, Evan.
It's one, can you tell Brock is raised by the athletic director for Caledonia? That man is well-spoken. Also, he is an 18-year-old who can grow better facial hair than I will ever be able to in my life. I'm incredibly jealous. Grant, you got any final thoughts?
Hope just a great game. Like you said, Brock Townsend, well-spoken kid, but even a better football player. I mean, ran hard today. Really led that team. And excited to see what this team can do going forward.
Going to be exciting to follow Caledonia and exciting to follow the Michigan High School football playoffs going forward. We're back for a district final matchup next week. Going to be on the east side of the state. Make sure you follow the State Champs social media channels to find out where our crew is going. For our entire crew, Liz on the sidelines, Grant up in the booth with me, John, Chuck, everyone behind the scenes working hard on what's turned into a rainy night in Caledonia. Evan Stockton saying, thanks for watching. Caledonia just had one of the greatest nights in school history. 72-30, they beat Portage Northern. Thanks for watching, and go have a great rest of your Friday night.
State Champs Game Time Live is delivered by Hungry Howie's Pizza, celebrating 50 years of flavor. State Champs Game Time Live is also brought to you by Lawrence Technological University. Be curious, make magic. The future of education begins at ltu.edu. Alta Equipment, Michigan's #1 construction equipment provider, proudly representing the industry's top brands. Get the right equipment for your project every time with Alta Equipment. The Construction Association of Michigan, the voice of the construction industry in Michigan. U.S. Navy, transform your life and become part of something bigger. Learn more about naval careers at Navy.com. And the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.